We are live.
You have a chat to bring up?
We do. Is...
If anyone's watching, just hang tight. We're still sorting this out here. Should be ready in a moment. Text.
Here it is.
Chat. Here we are.
Why is it a big white blank?
That's a good question.
It's not.
It's also on our broadcast screen.
Yeah, you can order it now.
Maybe it needs to load.
Well, it's okay. Because there's 0 viewers. So you don't have to worry about it.
Good. It's alright for now. We're still learning. Seriously, where is this chat? You've seen selected here. What if you unselect the scenes? Won't these just go away?
I don't. That's like this window will disappear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said you don't want. This is a preview scene.
No, it's that I have this up here.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I clicked something that made this different. And I think it's the scene transitions I gotta get rid of actually. I think that's what I did differently. Scene transitions can go away. And then docs, chat. I think that's supposed to be over here though, but it doesn't seem to want to play nicely. Technical difficulties. There are 3 viewers now.
3 viewers now. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Alright, well at least I got chat on here.
I have chat on mine too, but it's not coming up on our OBS.
Alright, well, let's roll with it,
Alright.
I guess. We can always do it on our phones. Alright, so we talked about doing our namesake, Altar of the Brew, as Altar of the Brood, obviously our pun here we got going on. We talked about doing the kind of best version, the best deck we could think of that would abuse that ability.
Seems pretty awesome. I love this card.
So we will probably come up with a placeholder name for now to be renamed later. And so we talked about Zellix being a definitive.
I think Zellix is probably the best for, at least for casual, with all the creatures that are going to be in there for when you alter the brood. But any comments from any of these folks here? Anybody have any other ideas? Might be a better altar of the brood deck. It's definitely a card we've played a lot. Let's see the chat going on here.
I have. Well, let's go through our own personal histories with the card. What are the things you've done the most with it?
Well, I did build a Zellix deck with the green background. It ended up helping to define the fact that I love that card so much. I've definitely done a lot of infinite blinks with like Felidar Guardian and Restoration Angel. Pretty much infinite with Altar of the Brood, which is It's pretty spectacular. Those are my two biggest ones. There's also ones where you do like full graveyard reanimations, like Living Death is another way to abuse that card. Lots of token generation. Those are kind of my experiences with it.
Well,
Strong.
let's go to Scry. You want me to pull up? You want to pull up? Pull up
I got it.
Scryfall.
Let's get Scryfall down here and see what we
Let's
can do.
look at all of the potential backgrounds.
Alright,
So if we're gonna say Zellix, so if you go to Advanced Search and you go to Type line and you scroll down there and you shoot, there you go, backgrounds. So let's just look at all of them.
Alright, sounds good to me.
Let's keep
So
our options open.
We are liking Zellix a bit though here.
Right. So if we're gonna say Zellix is the key commander, and now we're looking for a background for Zellix. So we either want something that's going to offer us card advantage or a payoff for the horrors we're creating.
Yes.
Is there another?
So one of the reasons that I like going black here because you get sacrifice outlets, which lets you sacrifice to put more creatures in the bin. With Zellix, because I believe Zellix is. You should probably go over what Zellix is and does.
That makes sense. Why don't you put that on the screen?
Let me go ahead and pull up Zellix here.
Do another tab over, or you can.
Just make people understand if they haven't seen Zellix yet. It's kind of one of those odd commanders. So it says whenever a player mills one or more creature cards, you create a 1/1 black horror creature token. It has tap 1 tap, and target player mills 3, and then it has then you can choose a background. Putting in blue, you definitely get a lot of self mill and player mill, which is pretty cool. So maybe a mill strategy might be on the horizon there. I also did it with quite a few persistent petitioners in my deck to generate lots and lots of horrors to sacrifice and do fun stuff like that with.
So that's the other thing, is you were guaranteeing that you were keeping your creature count up
And this is when any
to
player
mill
mills-
yourself in order to create it to mill everyone else.
Yeah, so with Altar of the Brood, when I would mill myself, it would make a 1/1 horror, which triggers Altar of the Brood, and everybody else mills one. If you hit a creature, then you get another horror, then everybody else mills one again, and so on and so forth.
So you were trying to keep your creature count at a point for which you were going to be guaranteeing you hit it.
Yes. Two decks I looked at for Zellix with backgrounds anyway. I ultimately ended up with Cloakwood Hermit, but I also looked at Agent of the Iron Throne because you do make a lot of 1/1s. So with that, everybody you're gonna be able to sack them very easily and get lots and lots of damage. But I like the Cloakwood Hermit because it says that anytime a creature card is put in your graveyard from anywhere this turn, make 2 1/1s tapped. So every turn you get even more 1/1s, which makes Altar of the Brood even stronger because then you're milling everybody for 2, which can start the chain over again.
But it was an end step trigger rather than a.
Yeah, the main phase.
So I guess the question is, if you're gonna go, is where are we going? Are we going for? You said the strongest version of the deck, but we also were talking about utilizing Altar of the Brood as the win condition rather than something else.
Zellix plays well nicely into that as well, being blue, because then you get Trinket Mage to help you go get your Altar of the Brood. It does tutor up artifacts with CMC 1 or less.
Do we want to then go? Well, black also gives us Blood Chief Ascension.
It does indeed, which is a really good magic card.
Here, why don't you pull up?
Let me change this up. And we'll make him just a black background, so we can kind of take a
All
look
right.
at that.
Well, let's start with there. We can change it up.
All right, so
So you want to go with Zellix
we're gonna name this. We're gonna go with Zellix as the commander for now.
and the Agent of the Iron Throne.
We'll put Agent in here for now, just as a kind of a placeholder, so we can kind of get this deck rolling. Definitely need to start with Altar of the Brood because that's the deck. I'm still pretty new to the Mox field here, so I added in.
Oh,
I
you
can
want me
search
to?
it here.
Can you jump in there? I can do.
Yeah, I can type. If you want to show me how to do it. Add it in.
So once
Folks
it's
hanging out with
up
us?
on there, just click on that, and it adds it. visual stacks? You're a visual spoiler kind of guy?
I'm a visual spoiler kind of guy. I like to see the whole card, and I want to be able to read them without having to just click on each one of them individually. Obviously, please give us some comments to what you prefer to see. The Trinket Mage is an awesome ad to get Alter the Brew. I would also say, in the vein of putting Trinket Mage in here, you're definitely going to want to put like Urza's Saga in here so that you can also find another way to get Alter the Brood. What do you think about that?
That makes perfect sense. Too many Urza's cards.
There's a lot of Urza cards.
That's not enough of a
Urza
filter.
Sage sounds awesome.
Alright.
So we now have 2 tutors for our marquee card, which is pretty sweet. Oh, yeah, another reason I wanted to do it, originally I had done it in green, is all the 1 minute accelerators you have in green get Zellix out on turn 2. Yeah, Fabricate is a great ad here.
What is that, it's our 40k. I was like, I haven't seen that one before.
Let's throw a traditional art in
Alright,
there.
let's give me some plane chase.
Yeah,
Get out of here with that.
I mean, we're in black. If we're going to stick with this black, maybe not Agent to the Iron Throne. There's another one that lets you look at the top 2 cards of your library and then put one in your graveyard and one into your hand when you go to draw your first card each turn. That might be more effective for a self-mill strategy also, to ensure that we'll have a creature to mill if we do have Zellix out. What do you think about that?
Whatever card is put in your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, they lose 2 life, you gain 2 life. That's the mind. That's the one that goes into the mind crank.
Yes, yes it is. But let's see here.
What's the other background you're talking about here?
Scion of Halaster. It says commander creatures you own have the first time you would draw a card each turn. Instead, look at the top 2 of your library, put one in your graveyard, the other back on top of your library, then draw a card. So basically, it lets you kind of like scry a little before you draw, so you could keep that potential creature on top, so that you can self-mill it if you wanted to. It also just helps you dig through your deck faster, lets you fill your bin if you're gonna go for a secondary condition as well. So it's definitely.
Or if you just put a creature in, you start the chain again.
No, the Zellix specifies that you have to mill 1 or more creature cards. This just puts it in the graveyard. It doesn't actually mill. Now that it's a keyword, it doesn't work that way anymore. It may though. It may have been errata, so we can
I guess
look it up.
the way you'd weigh it is. Oh, and that's from the battlefield.
Yeah,
so it
from the
doesn't count the mill. So really, what you'd be talking about is that would make you kind of go in another layer where you're like, okay, I'm gonna mill the cards, create the horror, and then I'm gonna sack the horror to trigger the Agent of the Iron Throne, and then if you'd be looking for the thing like to start a chain of like a blood chief or something like that, if you're gonna go that route. That seems like a lot more pieces. Maybe the Scion is better. Certainly lower to the ground.
Yeah, and getting Zellix out with Alter of the Brood is also really, really awesome, just because you get a lot of incidental mill your opponents for 1. Anytime a creature of yours enters, then everybody's milling 1, and if you hit a creature, everybody's milling 1 again. That can just continue as long as the creature gets hit each time. And then you get multiple triggers off Alter of the Brood if multiple creatures go in as well, because you'll see Zellix will actually see each graveyard specifically, so you can get up to 3 triggers per Alter of the Brood trigger for Zellix.
Right.
Just bananas. I love this. It's such a cool commander, and it really works well with Alter of the Brood. Doing some shopping?
We guys. We're Magic players. Let's be honest.
Definitely, if we stick in green here, stick in black, you get access to all the tutors as well. Black tutors are obviously the best ones, as they get any card of the deck, so you can always get whatever pieces you need. Green is nice because you get a lot more get cards back from your graveyard. So Alter the Brood, obviously, when it hits the table with Zellix out, it becomes a huge target. People want to kill it. So the green is nice for regrowth effects and stuff like that as well. So I think either black or green are probably the lines you're going to go with here, unless you really want to go with like a self-milling blue deck that also has white, so you get the one that makes your tokens instead of just being 1/1s or 3/3s, which is pretty powerful. And while Steve, oh shit, mouse here.
Yeah, just trying to
Try to see if we can
Pull
get
this
our
up.
chat up here.
see if I can get a better viewpoint as I learn how to use OBS correctly.
Guys, I hope you're bearing with us here. We're really excited and we're still learning all this stuff here. Let's see. Can I see the chat up in this? How does one view the chat?
I have this on here, which is functional.
Definitely don't want that.
So whatever that is, we don't want that.
Saying welcome to the chat room, but it's not letting me actually chat. Do we need to activate chat somehow?
Oh,
Red-
Perry.
thank
it's
you,
Perry.
John, good to hear from you, buddy. Red would be cool. Impact Tremors, yes, would be very good for the 1/1s. It also gives you access to one of my favorite cards, Goblin Bombardment. Fantastic.
The other way that you could abuse the blink if you wanted to go red would be you've got effects like Baron Master Wizard,
Yep.
and then you can blink like blink your dockside till the crowds come home.
Yes, definitely. You can definitely do it that way. It'd be pretty easy in a blue-red shell, which is nice.
Red
also,
does give you the artifact.
yeah, we could also go like a traditional old-school style too, where we just abandon Zellix here and just do Alter the Brood Krenko, because Krenko makes hundreds of tokens at a time when you start chaining them together with all the untap effects. So that's also like another strategy, which also plays well with Perforos, Impact Tremors, Goblin Bombardment. So those are really fun. Personally, I think Krenko's been explored so much that I would prefer to do like a Zellix deck because it's a newer kind of not very used commander. It's pretty
Okay.
cool. But I mean, the Blood Chief Ascension is ooey good because it gives you a secondary win condition against players.
Well, I also, the only thing I like, you also get the access to things like Drown and Lock,
Yes, trying to
which
walk
is strong.
It's especially good when you're milling everybody.
So once it just comes up, then you just click on it. And
Gotcha. Drown in the lock.
There you go.
Click on it. There we go.
And then I think it said also you can just hit I could shift enter and it goes on.
Oh, okay. Okay. John, any thoughts about putting stuff in blue-black that you like for mill? Obviously, red is a sweet color. Maybe you want to look at some red backgrounds, see if something maybe fits with us with Zellix.
Sure, we still got our tab up with the
Yeah.
backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
We had it.
Type line. Background enchantment. Didn't go for some reason. Here we are. Let's take a look at some red backgrounds. That might work. Dragon Cultist. Let's see. That just makes dragon tokens. Not so much. Attacks a player. We don't really want to attack with Zellix. Cast a spell from exile. Nah, that really doesn't work for us. Goading. This one's pretty solid. Street Urchin. You can pay one to sack the horrors that we make to deal damage to things. So it gives us kind of another line.
Right, and it's creature or an artifact, so if you make infinite treasures, you kill everyone.
Yep. So
Which is also pretty great.
the blue-red is pretty sweet for that.
Is there anything if we just stick mono blue?
Mono blue, let's see here. We got, we can copy. When a creature attacks a player. No, we're definitely not attacking with Zellix. Combat, another combat one here.
I mean, we
blue.
do make a bunch of horrors you can attack with. What was the payoff?
Well, you have to attack with the commander on these. Commander creatures you don't have whenever this creature attacks.
No.
We definitely don't want to attack with Zellix because Zellix is really cool like that. He's not triggering dungeons, and this is okay, but I don't think it's really in the vein of what we're looking for.
No.
Enters or leaves, draw a card. So I don't think the mono blue. Although one of the things I can say for Zellix that would be really interesting that we could do would be to put a bunch of legendary clone effects in here and have multiple Zellixes triggering with Altar of the Brute. Like your Spark Doubles and your Sakashimas. Those seem pretty reasonable to play.
Yeah, those aren't terrible.
You know? Also, like I said, I like the Persistent Petitioners. It's just a secondary, like, mill for 13 with 4 of those bad boys out. But each one does mill 1 on its own, similar to what Zellix does. So we want to take a look at what that looks like. Persistent Petitioner is not a particularly interesting card to add a lot of to your deck, but working a mill deck for the first time is kind of funny.
Yeah, Perry said yeah, for sure the Street Urchin's probably the strongest red one for sure.
Yeah. So we're looking at Persistent Petitioners here. It's just 1 tab, target player puts top card of the library in their graveyard, which does work really well with our Scion of Halaster here.
Well, do we want to knock our screen down in the corner more so we're blocking cards?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Make it a little smaller so everybody can see everything we're looking at here. There we go.
We're smaller now.
Yeah. So the nice option of, I'm going to borrow this mouse for a second, with this Persistent Petitioners with Zellix and the Scion of Halaster, is you can leave a creature card on top and the Petitioners can actually mill it off if you only have 1. I mean, mill is definitely a secondary win condition that's also very strong. But definitely more of like a maybe card. Probably. Move to considering.
Sure.
You know, these are definitely you want to play these if you're playing the blue-black. So maybe we can see our chat while we're...
And I can see it over here.
Just a couple from John so far.
It's just Perry. This is $2.50 per Persistent Petitioner. Actually, Perry, if you ever want to play it, I have a giant stack of them.
Yeah, I got a bunch too, yeah. And I had put him in this deck. Actually, John is one of the few people who's actually played against my version of this deck, which was the Simic version. Very interesting how we discovered this Altar of the Brute Zellix combo.
So this is saying this is our preview screen versus our program screen, so I'm afraid we're still blocking the screen on the actual factual screen.
Gotcha.
See, we're still biggie.
Can we change this one here?
And I was trying. What if we
Scene 2? Preview scene?
It's gotta be like a yes, make that what we want.
Yeah. Display capture.
It's not the end of the world. We can figure it out another time.
We can always do something like this too, I think. There we go. I just made it a little bit smaller. So even though it's not as big, you see all the cards that we're looking at right now. While we figure this stuff out.
Alright, so you just want to stick with this version of it, with Scion and Zellix?
I think Scion Zellix is pretty fun.
Alright,
definitely,
let's do it.
So I mean, we're definitely
settle in.
We're putting the tutors in this bad boy.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Start firing away.
So, go with the greatest one first.
Yep.
Definitely go with the best tutor there is, in my opinion. I'm gonna be the person who's gotten the most lands off this card ever in the history of Magic.
Did it in Philly at Monarch Media's Oktoberfest. Definitely tutored for Badlands.
Definitely gonna put out the as much as where is the good one here? I mean, come on, where's the revised one? That's the one I gotta put in. Just for this particular.
Load more. Load more.
Oh, load more. There's that button.
You want load more.
I want that revised edition.
Exactly.
Bring back to my childhood. Here we go. All right, so we got what? Vamp. Pyrrhic Tutor will be a good one, right?
Yep. Fire them all in there.
Yeah. Tutors are great. They find all the pieces that you need. I am concerned that if all 3 of those get blown up, we would just kind of lose out on this combo. Though. So we'll definitely have to find some.
How about Yogsville? I mean, if we're going hard. We're going hard.
Let's go real hard here. That's funny.
I mean, let's go hard. If we're going hard, let's go hard.
What are good black tutors are? We got Diabolic Edict, right? Or Diabolic Intent?
Yeah.
Imp Seal.
I mean, if we're milling people, let's get the mean betrayal in there.
Imperial Seal.
Familiar. Mnemonic Betrayal.
I would do that. Keep doing that because I hit enter. That's fine.
Yeah. I think it's Shift Enter, and you're all set.
Gotcha. Just gonna probably make it easier. Bring this back down for everybody to see. Imperial Seal. What else we got? Which one did you just say? Mnemonic Betrayal?
Yeah. I mean, that's a nice alternative win con.
Exile all cards from opponents' graveyards. You may cast those cards as turn spend mana cast them. Next end step. These cards remain exiled, return to everyone's graveyard. That's pretty solid.
So, 3 mana cast everything from everyone's graveyards that you milled.
It seems good to me. I definitely want to power out Zellix too. If we're going to go, hard to paint.
Start throwing some artifacts in there.
Alright, so we'll have the Mana Crypt, the old classic there.
And
Definitely like the Soul Ring. Still great after all these years and a gajillion printings, right? Any other good zero? Oh, we want Lotus. We want the Jeweled Lotus, right? Cast it on turn 1.
Yep.
Turn 1 Zellix seems pretty hilarious. What else we got?
Lotus Petal.
We're gonna go that hard.
Yeah.
Lotus Petal it out. Sorry guys, I'll get better at this.
Want me to? You want to?
No, I'll never get
rattle
better.
off, and
I'll never get better if I don't drive. So.
You sure?
Yes.
All right.
Wow, Lotus Petal's $25 now. Man.
What?
Do some mocks in here.
You didn't put it in.
Oh, I just hit the button to do it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it just took a minute.
You want me to do the clicking and you do the typing?
How about that? Sure. I'll type it in. You can click it. We're doing Chrome Mox. Are we going this hard?
Yeah.
Alright. This is borderline cEDH.
Yeah. No, I think we're going all the way.
And then we're going full bore cEDH? That's cool. Alrighty.
Well, what? I mean, that's.
And we're only up to $1,500, so I'll be alright.
Yeah. Type in Underground Sea. Let's see. Let's type that thing. Lands are boring to add.
But they do add like almost $1,000 to the value. Obviously, the fetches are going to be really good in this, especially with Alter the Brood. Like, there's lots of ways to trigger it and then continue the hive minding with Zellix. So I think all the fetches possible are going to be what we're going to want here, since we want to be able to trigger Alter the Brood as much as we can.
Yeah, we can add the lands at the end. That's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of unless they're utility lands that are relevant to the game plan.
Like Rose's Saga, yeah, very.
Yeah. Are we putting the other half of this in here?
I mean, it's kind of free, right? Especially with all the tutors that we have, and if we do somehow lose our altar, that is a grindstone, right?
Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft, excuse me. That's a cheap one.
Are we?
When an opponent loses life, that player puts 70 cards to the top of the library in the graveyard. Actually, even good without. Even good if we don't have other mill effects. Are there any strong mill effects that we want to play? Like, do we want to play like target player mills 10?
Are you doing straight up traumatize?
I mean, that would get you a good jillion triggers, pretty much winning the game, right? I can take it.
Put it at least put it in the list for now.
Yeah, we'll put it in the maybe. It's like milling a player for half the library could get us enough triggers to.
Well, it's like, oh hey, who's on the green here? It's Sylvala Brostorm.
Yeah, right.
It's elf player.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If this deck would play against my Seaton deck, it would probably poop all over it. It would just be infinite. Everybody would just lose because I have 55 creatures in that thing or something like that.
Sure. So in that vein, do you just want to put Altar of Dementia in this deck? So you create the horrors, then you sack the horrors to mill again?
Well, sacking the horrors does not mill. It's only when a player mills a card. It's not when a creature.
It's not
goes to
written.
the
It's not been.
to mill. Yeah,
no, Altar of Dementia to mill them.
I may have just missed that in my head because it was in my build because it's a very good card. Yes, we like the Altar of Dementia. Where is that? I like looking at it. That's a sweet card. Yeah, mill them, mill ourselves. Really good against top tutors also.
Yep.
Somebody goes to do that, you can set creature response.
Let's just horrors can just beat people up.
I mean, they're 1/1s. They're not nothing.
And are we attempting to also hurt people's life totals at the same time?
What kind of?
Are we doing like a do we want to do a blasting station in between our creatures entering the battlefield triggers?
Might be fun. Could be fun to do a blasting station. I definitely put it in the maybe, if anything, just to make sure that we've considered it. Ooh, can I have a blasting station, please? Did I not take one? Alrighty. Thinking. Are you thinking blasting station? What is thinking? Make it easier for you? I don't know. Any comments from there? The old chat screen?
No, just Perry.
What's John saying over here?
He was talking about doing a competitive version of the deck for under $100, which
Woo!
that's
competitive. Competitive, probably not, but definitely could do a version of the deck for under $100.
Yeah, sure. Did you get the blasting station?
No, it was just giving me. I think Moxfield might be a little stuck here. I'm just gonna try it again. That's why I kind of went forward. There we go.
There you go.
Are you clicking?
Tag team.
Tag team, we got it.
We have two mice that are both tied to the same mouse.
Yeah.
Two keyboards tied to the same screen too. So either one of us can modify stuff.
And blasting station definitely gives us usage for the creatures that are produced.
I mean, that's a pretty serious control piece when someone.
I mean, are we going so far as to be like, push the wrong button again. But
Yes.
Steve knew exactly what I was doing.
Definitively, yes. Well, you can go if you type like that.
I'm gonna do it slow.
You can, if you hit enter, you can just hit add and then hit back, and you're good to go.
I think this Ms. Marigord might be pretty awesome.
I mean, it certainly messes up people's planning.
It's just like an inherently good card against most people anyway.
Well, the question becomes.
How much do we want to feed their graveyard plants?
No. Well, there's that, but there's also, I mean, the mnemonic betrayal kind of helps out with that. Is there more than one effect that allows you to do what mnemonic betrayal does? It gives you access to other people's cards from their graveyard.
There's lots
Besides Rise of the Dark Realms.
There's lots of things that let you reanimate creatures from their bins, but I don't know of anything that lets you like play their cards from their graveyards. We could take a look at the. I think it just puts creatures in, but the. They're from the Ravnica block. I think they let you do one for each opponent. The blue one lets you cast a spell from each person's graveyard.
Oh, Perry was saying two versions. One that was a competitive version.
Oh, competitive and a budget.
And then a budget version.
Yeah, I mean, to budget this out, all you do is take out all the good cards, put in all the bad ones. Alter the Brood itself is kind of expensive for a budget deck, $850, but it's definitely doable. I mean, Trigger Mage is super cheap, and are there creatures that enter in mill? Because that would be pretty sweet. Is there a way to search?
Oh yeah. We want to go. We want to go to the. We could go straight with the Overwhelmed Apprentice. We could do with effects that untap. Is Alex? You've got to pay to tap.
You got to pay to use them. It's 1 in tap, and target player mills 3. But there's lots of cards.
You can't reduce
that
it to
just
0,
mill.
right? Even Helm of Awakening doesn't let you reduce it to 0.
I think it has a minimum of 1.
Right. So you can't get there. Well, as a Grenzo player, you should note that.
I don't play Helm of Awakening in Grenzo.
Or Helm of
Helm of Awakening, yeah, makes spells cost less.
Spells cost less.
The Heartstone is probably what
Heartstone
you're
is what
that makes them a minimum of 1, I believe.
But we're already there.
But if it does reduce it by more than 1, yeah, Heartstone. Yeah, just to 1 mana or less. Or up to 1 mana. So, can't use Heartstone. What about, let's go advanced here.
Memory Plunderer.
Memory Plunderer. Let's take a look.
Is that Nate Scrap Swap?
Maybe. I don't know.
to Nate Sheridan.
Welcome, Scrap Savant. Thanks for joining us on this maiden voyage. Just take a look at it. No.
Memory Plunder, not Plunder.
Plunder, excuse me. Memory Plunder. There it is. Let's take a look.
Ah, that one.
Where did I put it? Oh, there. You may cast target instant or sorcery card from the point screen without paying its mana cost for 4 and of any colors. I mean, it's definitely worth considering if casting stuff from the graveyard is relevant.
Is that the one that was also Throne of Eldraine?
I don't recall this
Do
one.
switch printings.
Let's see here. Switch printing.
Nope, Shadowmoor.
Shadowmoor. It's the old one, especially with the hybrid cost. Couldn't have been thrown out, I think, with the hybrids. So why would we want?
Yes, Nate Sheridan.
Hey Nate, good to see you, buddy. Good to hear from you. Thanks for joining us. I mean, Nate he's a heck of a good resource for stuff like this. This Traumatize seems like wishful thinking. Paying 5 mana at sorcery speed to mill somebody. There's a big fish that does it, right? You tack and it mills their player for like half.
Fleet Swallower.
Yeah, fleet. Is this too janky for how powerful we're trying to make this deck?
I don't know. I think we've
kind of gone off the rails a little here. Let's take a look. 7 mana seems like a lot, and it has to attack. So probably not.
Right. At that point, Keening Stone is.
Let's go ahead and take that one.
Well, the other thought process is, do you play a high enough creature count that you just mill yourself and kill everyone?
Well, it might be doable. I mean, it's definitely a lot harder with all the tutors that we want to do, because the tutors aren't creatures, but Trinket Mage is a creature tutor, which is
They said there's a new artifact creature that you can unearth it for 7 mana, or 7 mana, or unearth for 4.
Or am I doing something wrong here?
Text unearth.
That's what I just did. Yeah. Unearth.
And then click on blue and black down here. And then search with these options.
I didn't even search for those options. I can't remember that before. It's fine. Yeah, the card's fine. Huh.
Because you're still on backgrounds.
I don't see it.
Let's just set it when you hit forward.
Type play. How do I take it out?
I don't know. It's not showing. It shouldn't be there
Let's
still.
refresh this page here. Let's try this again here.
Player mills half their deck, Nate says.
It seems pretty spectacular to me. Yeah, that's too many cards. Let's go blue black here. And then this is good anyway. Just having an earth. Well, Nate, what's it called? You said it's a new one, so let's see here. It's gonna be from Brothers War probably. Just unearth and Brothers War. Right here. Unearth for 4. Return it, and then when it attacks, defending player mills it. Yeah, that's pretty sweet though for 4. We're gonna mill it, trigger, and then we're gonna pay 4 to get it back and mill somebody for half their library. I'm into that. Probably not gonna hard cast this bad boy. That's 7.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got to decide whether we're going. Are we dialing things all the way up or not? Because, like, obviously you're playing blue black. You're playing low to the ground, you go crazy, you go ad nauseam, you throw in the Thassa's Oracle just for giggles and you just win that way, or we want to stick to this to being a high-powered list and we dial back the crazy bananas mana production and we do some more janky shenanigans.
I mean, right now we're currently on the balls out plan. I'm definitely okay adding this as like a maybe card because it definitely has a lot of good utility when we're going to be milling it ourselves too.
Right. I think especially if you're going to be doing the
and being a creature too, when you unearth it, like it's really hard to counter that.
Yep.
So that to me like is easier than like that 4 mana sorcery that mills somebody's deck.
Yeah. So you can there's a couple of tricks here. You can get the text off of that pretty easily. I can show you. I think you can. Yeah. So obviously you can just do that, but there's another trick in There's also a tie-in with Moxfield and Scryfall where
That
you
makes
can
sense.
do advanced search right within here. I think this is powered by Scryfall. See, so this is the same thing. So we can do. It's literally powered by Scryfall.
Gotcha.
So there's cards like
Each opponent will-
ETB Mildew. You've got the Merfolk Secret Keeper,
Oh, target player goes 4.
but then also,
Could be an 0/4.
well, it's a creature. Like if once again, if you're
Yeah,
trying to mill
yeah.
over,
It's a spell and a creature, which is sweet for Zellix.
right? Because if you're gonna be like, oh hey, if I can keep my creature count over 30, that might be hard to do. But if you keep your count over 30, and then you target yourself, you're simultaneously creating a thing.
It's not bad to think of try to use creatures to do milling with, especially if, like that one's great. ETB, Scry 2 is never nothing, and then milling 2 for everybody, for each opponent. It gives you potential for up to 6 triggers. Not that it's guaranteed, but I like cards that have a very high floor to them. And that the floor on this is, pay 1, mill everybody for 2, and Scry 2. That's definitely not awful. So the Scryfall again here. I want to see what kind of creatures we can find. So blue or black creatures that have enters the battlefield. Enters the battlefield. You're gonna be a lot here, aren't you? I just want to do enters the battlefield and then mill. Why won't you let me do that?
Just not clicking on it. Is there a click on it?
You got a whole bunch of stuff here. Hey, look at the first card that came up. So these are like pretty janky ones here. Just mill 4, self mill stuff. This Court of Cunning is very powerful.
I mean, you can defend with your horrors pretty
You can,
decently.
yeah. I mean, this is also gives you the Monarchs, gives you more card draw, which is sweet. But even at the worst this card is, every upkeep you're milling everybody for 2. You can even mill yourself with it if you want, as target players. I think this is a solid ad. What do you think?
Sounds good.
So,
Court of Cunning.
See, I remember this time.
You can also hit Shift Enter.
Oh, shift it.
Not control enter, Shift Enter. Emery is always bananas.
Emery's good just because we have a lot of artifacts count too, and it's self mills for 4. I'm big on that.
And lets you cast your artifacts out of the graveyard like you're worried about.
They do it.
Yeah.
Ah, go me. Let's see. What do we like? Falligi, this is a new one. There's battlefield mill 3. May put a non-creature non-land from among these into your hand. If you don't put in 1 counter. So this is, I know it's silly, but this also gives us Alter the Brew if we mill it with it. It's not nothing, but it's not great either.
I have not seen that one yet. Was that Brothers War?
Yeah, that's what it looks like here.
What else we got?
Let's see. This Gisa and Giralf might be a really good add to those cast creatures out of the graveyard. So if we have creatures that mill, we can cast more creatures out of the graveyard that mill once per turn.
Zellix is what? A horror?
I believe it is a
What
horror.
is he?
Horror.
Just straight up horror.
Legendary horror.
What a horror. Okay. Hedron crabs? All the crabs that was
Oh,
the
yeah.
iceberg.
We
the
gotta
Hedron-
put the crabs in here. What was I thinking?
Hedron. It's Hedron.
I typed it as Hedron.
Which ones? Well, there's the ones that mill, and then there's the ice one.
Hedron crab, definitely. That's the land ETB. Ah, creatures up here. That's this one. This is the famous one that target player mills 3. So that's a good one. Then there's the just search crab here. See what comes up. There's too many crabs.
No, it's the ice one. Oh, go back to your search. Scroll down. That one, iceberg. cantrics.
Whenever another snow permanent enters battlefield control, have target player put the top 2. Yeah, that seems sweet. So just do snow lands.
Right. I mean, your land base is going to be a little
Exactly.
more basic focused
Ice
in that
Spark.
routine.
I mean, with that though, like we're only playing 2 colors. You know, it's definitely worth considering.
Right.
I thought there was another. I thought there was a new Zendikar Hedron crab.
There's
that
a
only does
third
your
crab.
opponents.
There's a crab. Yeah, there's a third crab.
This card is surprisingly good too. It enters and gives you 2 energies, then you can pay to tap an energy and mill somebody for free. What we got from the team here?
Nate's like, sounds like a Precision Petitioner's deck.
Does, right?
Are we jamming Brewvac?
I mean, there's no reason not to, right?
I mean, probably not. Is he 4 CMC?
He's 3.
Really? He's 3?
He's 3, yeah. And then if an opponent will mill 1 or more, they mill twice that many. So like Alter the Brood is going to trigger twice as much now when we get it. This is pretty good. I mean, we could definitely put, and he's an advisor, so he would work with persistent petitioners really well if we added some or many. I definitely
doesn't
agree.
Dothy still work?
I think Dothy, doesn't it?
It's not a replacement effect. They enter and then get exiled.
Voidwalker. So exile instead, so it doesn't work
So
for
we want
us.
that.
Yeah. Same as like Leyline of the Void too. But yeah, definitely keep the ideas coming because this is coming out sweet already. It seems, feels like it. Definitely don't like
Let's
these
say
like.
Ravenous Gigamole.
Oh, here it is, Ruin Crab. That's
Ruin
the one.
Crab, that's the name, yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely want Ruin Crab. $2. People love mill, man.
Siege Rose, not that great.
A blue creature enters the battlefield and control target player puts 2 cards. I wonder if there's another card that's like whenever a creature enters, somebody mills something, because that might be helpful when we you mill, you make a token, then a creature's entered, now somebody else is milling something.
Citrus Supplier.
Yeah, I mean we're playing Altar of Dementia, so that's just what 7 cards you're milling for 1 mana.
Yeah,
That seems reasonable to me.
that's milling ourselves.
Yeah, I mean but if we keep the creature count high, especially if we're having persistent petitioners in there.
Is this if we're really trying to keep the creature count over 30, is this like Snapcaster Mage deck?
Yeah, probably. We definitely want to be able to cast our spells again. I mean, it's definitely especially because with the self mill, we're definitely going to want to be able to have access to our graveyard. Even like, okay, let's snap back any one of these tutors. You know, like that's reasonable. Or snapcast a Drown in the Lock is more than fine. We can definitely put some stuff to play a long game in here, like removal and stuff like that. But
Are we Spellseekering then as well?
do we need to spell Seeker?
Like,
Wish Nate was sitting with us here. He'd be such a good idea. His go with these mill decks.
I mean, he's sitting here. He's got Nate's got us. That's a weird Spellseeker art. That's the one with the skull boobs.
That is definitely skull boobs. Look at that. Skull boobs and teeth waste. That's not my favorite. I think I'm gonna change that, folks. Let's switch this to. I'm big on the. I actually think this Judge Gift one is pretty sweet looking. I like the Battlebond one. Though. She looks like she's actually seeking the spell. What do you think? Which one do you like better?
Fire away. Pick
Battlebond it is. All right. So mana cost 2 or less pretty much gets us everything so far, except for like these boom booms. This might be kind of I think too not in the power level of the deck.
I understand.
So maybe we'll switch to consider.
Listen, there's probably only one competitive deck that's a traumatized deck, and it's the Simic Frog.
Simic Frog sounds funny to me.
The one where you put things, if permanents enter your graveyard, they get exiled with a croak counter on them, and you can cast permanents with croak counters. So you just traumatize yourself for half your deck, and you can pretty much win from there.
I like this Teferi's Tutelage. Whenever it's battlefield, draw a card and discard. Then whenever you draw, target opponent does 2. It's not great, but it's definitely one of those like recurable.
Yeah, we'll
keep
throw,
using it.
throw in the considering for sure.
Or do we want to just like go full balls to the wall swings mindbreaker? Everybody mills 10 when you put it in. Just your opponents. Yeah. All right, mill 30 cards. How many creatures triggers do we get for Alter of the Brood? You know. I'll put the tutelage in the board here. I think, or the considering for now, in case we're looking for a couple of things right at the end.
Perry
Phase
likes
two.
the spell seeker with the skull tits.
Oh, she likes the. All right, you know what? For you, Perry, we're going back to skull tits just for you, bud.
He claims he could switch teams for that, and I think you have to be on a team first to switch teams.
Hold on,
Perry.
let's take a look at these. All right, let's see if we were switch team worthy. I mean, those teeth kind of scare me. The thing is it's a pretty radical, neat artwork. I like it. It's a little too Addams Family for me, I think. But I'm with you, John. Let's do it, buddy. Let's bring this back down so everybody can see. Alrighty. Now that we're getting a lot here, maybe we should layer it up here. Stacks is high here.
Grid.
I did mean to click grid. There we go.
That's a
A
little
little
more
bit
visual.
neater for everybody. Let's take a look. Whenever a player knows one or more creatures, you create a horror. So, anything good for? I mean, is this an intruder alarm deck? Because you make a horror, then it gets to untap it, then you can pay to mill again.
If it's an intruder alarm, then you just need a way to generate. You just need a mana generating sack outlet, and you mill everyone, right?
I mean, there's a lot of mana generating sack outlets that I really enjoy playing, and my friends understand that I love. They have the word alter in them, and that's kind of our channel name too.
Well, I'm just saying, right? Because like, isn't that how it reads? Because all you would have to do is.
The only downside to intruder alarm is your creatures don't untap until a creature enters. Which actually makes Scion of Halaster. It doesn't mill us though. It is a sweet card though. Creatures don't untap, and then whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap all. So that's even good when your opponents are kind of going for it too. If they're chaining layer like docksides and stuff like that.
Yeah, the only thing that's dangerous is you're giving people
Untaps, yeah.
untaps on super mana generating dorks to be able to just chain.
This is true.
I mean, it's hey, you know what? I like a little fringy, fun, can't go crazy kind of thing. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all.
I don't mind it either. It's a really sweet card, and I think that like it just becomes like your like kind of go for the win card. Like don't play it until you're ready to.
Sure.
You know, like oh I've got 6 mana this turn. I'll play this and get at least 3 activations on my commander alone.
Right.
You know?
Or I have the sack outlet and it's on.
Yeah. Or to be fair, this is the card you're gonna play if you're gonna put persistent petitioners in this deck. This is the card you play with persistent petition. You just kill people with actual mill. At that point. Pretty spectacular.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Cut all these janky creatures.
Just cut the jank creatures. Just go persistent petitioners. Seems so uninteresting though, right? Like.
I understand, but you can find some more. I mean, let's okay. So we're 53 minutes into being on air, and we've got 39 cards. Obviously, why don't you do this? Let's set a land count and just throw islands and swamps in there, so we at least get a land count, so we know how many cards off we are.
I mean, with this kind of mana here, we're looking at what, like 30, 31 maybe.
Sure.
So we'll go with the smaller of the two for now. We already have 2 lands in here. We'll just drop 28. You know, we'll do 14 Swamps Islands for now.
Sure.
And just change them over. Oh man, left my house really fast, and I forgot to. How do I up the numbers?
All right. So click on the 3 dots. Go to add more, and then tell it how many more you would like to add.
15.
That will give you 15 then.
And this will be add 12 for now. Add more. Just as placeholders. So that gives us 30 lands, and that doesn't include any MDFCs, which we might use.
Yeah.
So that way we're at our 67 cards. We're only 33 out. That's about what we did in the first hour.
Okay.
So definitely doable. This is a hilarious card that I think is going to be really fun. And these are some pretty jankers.
Right.
Definitely need the fetchies with all these crabs and stuff like that. Potentially some snow stuff. This is definitely a hilarious card that needs.
You can just switch into snows easily. That will not do it. Never mind. Can't do it. Change it easily. Never mind.
We'll change it when it's time. Let's keep looking at these creature lists that we're looking at because there's still a whole bunch more, and it seems to have brewed us a lot of ideas. Never mind. There's a few more. These look all like self-millie cards. Yeah, so we're kind of past that now. Any ideas from the old Chatsky here?
Not at the moment. I'm gonna
Kind of quiet.
Trying to think of some.
Okay. Ashiok is spectacular.
All right, throw Ashiok in there.
One, it's a hate card because they can't search their libraries.
Always a fan.
Two, it makes a player mill 4, and then everybody else exiles their graveyards. Then exile each opponent's graveyard. So that doesn't work with like our mnemonic betrayals and stuff like that. But it might just be too good a card not to play.
If you're not on the plan to, if you're not on the low to the ground CMC and you want to play the ad nauseum type shenanigans, then I say if you're going, you don't care about going up high CMC. There's a lot of other shenanigans we can do. We can reanimate. We can. We could. You could put everyone's favorite Sir Conrad.
Ooh, yeah. Now we're starting to deal some damage.
You could get Sir Conrad in here, and then.
It's the 350. Good old Sir Conrad, even with reprints. That's a good card.
Sir Conrad makes a larger argument for Traumatize.
I suppose, yeah. But also, the nice thing about Sir Conrad is it does have an activated ability to have everybody mill a card, which does work really well with our like Phyrexian and Ashnod's altars to make more mana to sack the creatures that we're going to get. It's like Phyrexian altar with Sir Conrad. So you make one or two dudes, then you can activate them again. Then you make one or two dudes, you can activate them again potentially with the altars. Do you want me? You think that putting the altars in here is
well? If we're doing the intrude alarm thing, I think you should.
All right, so we'll put them in for now. Phyrexian altars, that'd be fun. New Phyrexian set coming out soon too, huh?
I guarantee we get a Phyrexian altar reprint.
Really?
Another one? Yeah.
You think we're gonna get another one?
If not in the normal set, in like set
it wasn't
boosters.
an original Phyrexian.
Yeah, but I think it would have been like it'd be like even if they don't put it in draft boosters, I bet they put it in set boosters on the list. You know.
That would make sense. Seems like it'd be cool. Let's get back here. I just searched each player mills.
I mean, we can memory erosion, psychic corrosion type enchantments.
Dreamborn Muse. You can have each player's upkeep. That player puts top X in their library in their graveyard, or X number of cards in their hand.
It's fine.
Seems like a good like. Every single upkeep will be milling because likely people will have cards in their hand. And it's a creature, so it plays into our
right.
Plays into our strategy if it gets milled over.
Put it in there for sure. For
Seems
now,
pretty solid. I love the things that say each player mills because that's 4 chances per card. Ooh, we going Frank Sanity. We going this deep? We going Ghoul Caller's Bell?
probably not Ghoul Caller's Bell.
We have an X spell here. It says each player draws X cards or each player mills X cards.
When did that come out?
Looks like it's Fate Reforged.
I've never seen that in
That's
play.
the cons block. So if we do this with like Ashnod's Altar, we make a bunch of dinky 1/1s. Now all of a sudden this card gets real strong.
I don't mind a reality chip in here as just a way to continue to.
Sure. I'd rather have to cut cards than have to look for more cards. You know what I mean? I love cutting down on decks. So let's just add. See, I mean, this spell is it's pretty funny, but
I've never seen. Have you ever seen Riddle Keeper before? That's a new one for me.
that doesn't sound familiar to me at all. This is like a mill every turn kind of guy. It's just a tap ability though.
This is a weird one before.
Here we go. The King Narfi's Betrayal. Didn't we talk about this one? This is everybody mills 4 for 3 mana, and then it had the next 2 abilities on it for the saga are until end of turn you may cast spells from among cards exiled with it. You can spend mana of any type. This just helps
Start
us
those
to.
4. Then you may exile a creature card or planeswalker card from each graveyard.
It's pretty sweet. It also gives us more access to our cards.
That's
that we're
kind of
gonna
neat. I
mill.
like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm down for that. What do you guys think out there? King Narfi's Betrayal or what? So I know it's 5 mana, but this used to be the biggest win condition in all of 1v1 for the longest time. It's a Planeswalker for 5 with 4 loyalty, has a 0 ability that mills somebody for 10. What do you think about that?
I definitely didn't realize when I clicked away from chat, it disappeared.
So Jace Memory Adept is 0, target player mills 10.
Well, you didn't want to play Traumatized, and that's 5 mana.
Yeah, but that's once. This is every turn as long as we can protect it. Making a bunch of 1/1s means we'll likely be able to protect it, right? Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts the top card of their library into their graveyard. They then put X 1/1 black minions onto the play, where X is that card's converted mana cost. That's a lot for 6. That's not very much for 6 mana.
What's this mana spread?
Enters battlefield, each opponent mills the top 3, and it's a creature, so that's good. So that's like mill 9 for 2 mana, right? Because 3, 3, and 3. And then it's the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If you have Delirium, they mill 3 more. So that seems perfect for this deck.
Sure.
Where were you, team? Come on, Manic Scribe. That'll probably go in the John Perry budget version. It's funny. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I was hoping to put the chat on this computer.
Yeah, might have to have a third window.
Give me a second, and there's got to be a way to do it correctly over here. That's not what we wanted.
Oop. Oh.
There we go. That's what we wanted to see.
I'm loving this card, and I've never seen it before. It's called Shadowkin. 4 mana, 2/2 with flash. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player mills 3. You may exile a creature card from among the cards milled this way. If you do, it becomes a copy of that card, and it has this ability. That is pretty neat.
We didn't get any enters triggers.
But each player milling 3 on every upkeep is definitely
4 mana. I think that's more.
It is a flash, so it's not sorcery speed.
Nate said, since you're playing Altar of the Brood, Trinket Mage Urza Saga to Shrieking Drake to go ham
Oh,
off.
Shrieking Drake, yeah, that is a reasonable. Just pay a blue when everybody mills one when you have. That's when you already have it out, right?
Yeah.
Good call, Nate. Good call. There it is, and that adds another creature to our creature count, which we're trying to keep up, right? Pretty sweet. Nate's got some good ones, huh?
Did you want to put. You put Ashnod's in too, right?
I did, yeah. I just think that they kind of pair together most of the time.
Is there anything that just
do
sits
we-
out there that is a
Do we
mana
just
dump?
do we just put like a what's the name of the Soulbond fella? The 6 mana one. Because that kind of just goes infinite with a lot of stuff, right?
Say that?
There's a 6 mana Soulbond creature that has like pay 2, like the thing it's Soulbonded to.
Oh, Dead-Eye Navigator?
Dead-Eye Navigator, yeah. That kind of like just kind of goes ham bananas with Alter the Brood, right?
Yeah, but you need something that Oh, you do with what Peregrine Drake?
Sure. Seems reasonable. I've seen some friends do stuff like that.
What is this?
Boy, Sir Conrad is like the best card for this deck, huh? Putting a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield. That's really good.
It said there's a solid instant I play in Wizards. You 2X, you draw 2 cards, or target opponent mills twice X. You control your commander, do both. You draw X.
You know what it's called, Nate? Is it just me, or am I really into this kind of jank? Worry beads. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they mill one. I think the Mesmeric Orb does a lot more work than that. Let's see.
I mean, it's so easy to just mill your whole. I mean, if you want to just mill your whole deck the old-fashioned way, if we had Ms. Miracle Orb in here, just want to put up Assault Monolith in here, and we can just mill ourselves.
I mean, that would definitely.
We can kill the whole table that way.
That would likely do a lot of damage. I also think this Winds of Rebuke might be a good ad, just because you want some interaction, and it mills when you interact.
Yeah, Winds of Rebuke is a totally playable card anyway.
Yeah, so we'll put Winds in, Winds of Rebuke.
Yeah, this is definitely the way to go to have the chat over here.
Oh, there it is. Okay, good.
I knew I could do it.
Alright, so Winds of Rebuke, what was the one you were just talking about? The
Assault Monolith.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, how does that? Oh, it goes infinite with this Miracle, right? So we need a big creature count on that one. How many 2-mana artifacts we rocking here?
You didn't put any in yet.
Alter Dimension. What?
You didn't put any in yet. You didn't put the Arcane Signet's not in here. You don't have the Fellwar Stone in here.
I'm just wondering if putting like the Trophy Mage in and or the 3-mana Mage in is worth it, especially if you're gonna play like these altars of Phyrexian Altar, Ashnod's Altars is a 3-mana tutoring creature, and like the creature tutors are gonna be stronger here for us with wanting to mill creatures ourselves.
Drown in Dreams is the card that Nate was talking about.
Let's take a look, buddy. So we're gonna take these little off. Drown in Dreams. It's an enchantment. Oh, there it is. Instant. Choose one. If you control a commander as you cast a spell, choose both. Target player draws X, target player mills twice X. So if we pay the bare minimum of this of 4, we're going to draw 1 card and they're going to mill 2. So 5 mana, we draw 2 and they mill 4. Does that seem reasonable for 5 mana? It is an instant, which is nice. Yeah. Going off with like the Ashnod's Altar would be sweet with that. You know, getting a lot of mana for it.
While we're, maybe. You want while we're here and we forgot, you want to throw in the Arcane Signet, throw in the
Yeah, I'll start putting some mana in here.
just throw in the ones we were missing before. Throw in the Arcane Signet.
Fellwar Stone and stuff like that.
Throw in the Fellwar Stone. Throw in the Talisman of whatever it is.
This is dominance.
It will only give you the option. Are we playing Signet?
I mean, if you're playing Talisman, you might as well play Signet too. So,
Dimmer?
Dimmer Signet.
It'll just give us more of a.
Yeah.
And then
Just give us some opportunity. Should we be playing like the really big rocks, like Grim Monolith and stuff like that?
No.
Like we need that.
Because
we want to be able to cast Zellix as soon as possible, and then go get Alter the Brood. That's pretty much what our line is here, right? And then use any combination of cards to mill everybody as fast as possible. Like, I didn't even have a leaned out version of this deck, and I had it with green. I got Alter the Brood with Zellix, and it, like, basically milled half of everybody's library, just because of the ability of Zellix and Alter the Brood together.
We need to put a Reshape in here.
Reshape, solid. Want to go get that artifact. Just reshape for additional cost to cast it. Second artifact, search your library for artifact mana cost X or less. So, that's pretty sweet. Sack pretty much anything to that. Is there any way to abuse these 1/1s entering outside of just the altar triggering more?
Well, We have intruder reveal, intruder alarm.
Intruder alarm does untap this. Is there a way, Nate? Anybody? Do they know any way to reduce this one cost to 0?
I don't think there is anything. I mean, we're just gonna sack them to an altar to pay for it,
That would work.
and then do it again.
Yes, that would be epically sweet.
That would. I mean, that's the top.
I'm down for that.
I'm pretty confident they made it so you cannot reduce anything to 0. That's. If it existed, it would be in every Thrasios deck on the planet.
What's that training ground?
Yeah, but it reduces it by 2. It can't reduce it to 0.
Gotcha.
It's already a 1.
Let's continue with our goofy list here. Wings of the Week.
The Vantress Gargle was the other one that was in that standard environment for Throne of Eldraine.
Right here. Yeah, tap everybody mills one.
Yeah, because it was also just a 5/4 flyer.
For 2. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that was pretty sweet in that format.
62 draw. Each player deals 3, exile 2 creature cards of graveyards with a Sanity token. It's not that good.
You want to fill out some interaction?
Yeah, I think putting some stuff in here, but there's cards that like counter and then somebody mills. There's cards that kill something and people mill. And I think that plays better into our strategy, but probably will have a worse mana cost
Right.
for interaction. Let's back it up. So that's each player mills. What about that player mills?
You're like a goblin. Here, interesting. Sell off occultist.
Sell off occultist.
Whenever sell off occultist or another creature dies, target player mills a card. That works with our outlets. It's 2L. Yeah, the
Yep.
1. I don't know about that. It's 3 mana.
Right here.
Yeah.
Whenever it or another creature dies, target player mills 1. Seems like a lot of hoops to jump through on a 3 mana sorcery, basically. But
Are we Painter Servant Grindstone in this deck?
I don't know if we're going that far yet. But it's definitely reasonable to think about.
Is there? I mean, I think a Phyrexian Metamorph would be a fine generic creature to put in this deck. That's
Sure.
powerful.
And what do you feel about like Spark Noble and stuff like copying Zellix to get multiple triggers? What do you think about that? You think it's just reaching too far, too casual?
I don't think that's terrible.
I prefer things that will give us like more creatures in our deck. Metamorph is sweet for that though. But like when you're putting Metamorph, are we put like Phantasmal Image in here? Stuff like that, or do you want stuff that can like is more valuable?
I mean, we're not building this in paper and we're doing it strong. You want to just put a Gilded Drake in here?
It's a fine. It's a very.
Just add it and hit back.
It's a fun interactive piece that I like.
If we're just trying to get our creature count up to like 30-ish,
Yeah.
that's why I was thinking like, what are we competing for? We got 87 to get 13 more slots.
Does Gilded Drake's trigger allow you to sacrifice it with turn on stack and still take somebody's thing?
No, it has to remain in play. So with the trigger on the stack,
Just
if you
looking at
kill
that.
Gilded Drake, you don't exchange control.
Gotcha.
Because don't forget, we haven't put any removal in here or any counterspell or any of that.
Not yet, we haven't.
So we gotta definitively that has to happen.
So these are counter
Didn't
mills.
say please, is the big one on Thought Collapse.
Counter target spells, controller puts top 3.
Yeah, not a
Do we like a 3 mana counter spell in a
No.
deck like this? Probably not. Thought collapse, counter target spells, controller puts same exact card.
Yeah.
Love that. Let's see here. Nah, I don't think any of these are going to be what we're looking for. 3 is awful lot. So probably just good old fashioned counter spells. interaction. You do like swan song stuff like that.
Yep.
What else do we like here? Want to do like the one that makes treasures?
No, but I think you should. I mean, I would just throw the mana drain in here, or throw the.
Fierce guardianship.
Yeah.
You want to be able to protect this thing, right? What's the free black one? One that exiles a creature. Is that one reasonable?
If we're not caring about our CMC, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, we're not. I don't think we're looking at Adnos right now.
No. I wouldn't mind appearing to the abyss.
Who doesn't want to draw most of the cards in our deck? You go that hard, are we going to get Necropotence, Dark Ritual?
Necropotence really hurts us because we gotta put stuff in the graveyard.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
That's
That's discard, so it's not the same. We definitely you want to just do the forces.
Not sure.
Negation.
Our instants are coming up. A lot of artifacts. Do you think it returns all the artifacts in these colors to the battlefield? Like we mill them all and just like bang, just get like 100 mana. Is that my value engine?
That's Yogg's Will. That's called Yogg's Will.
Is this a living death deck? I don't know if you know this, for those of you out there, but Living Death with Sir Conrad is awesome. Because Sir Conrad sees all the creatures leave the graveyard, and then it sees all the creatures get sacrificed. Which is hilarious. Brewvac here is good anyway. But are we looking to put some petitioners in here? Because that'll definitely help us fill out. Like we're at 93 right now. Obviously, there's some of these might get cut and stuff like that. And our land base is looking at like 30. Any MDFCs that would fit these colors? Probably.
The one that brings something back if you kill it. That's about protection.
There's one that like returns a bunch of creatures too, right?
Oh,
like,
Agadeem's Awakening.
Agadeem's. This seems like a reasonable card to play in here.
Yeah, that's good. I think the Overwhelm Apprentice is pretty shitty.
Overall Apprentice, yeah. It's looking a little worse. Well, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's probably not very good. So move to consider it. Secret Keeper also only mills one player for 4 cards,
Yeah.
which is less than
Yeah, get that out.
the other one did. So we'll go ahead and move that to consider. Getting a little more powerful than that, I think now. So I think we're looking good here. Do we want to put the I think it's Trophy Mage gets a 2. And that would get us it'll get us Altered Dementia, which is really good with, or the Mesmeric Orb, or the Mind Crank, and it's a creature that tutors. I mean, at its worst, it's gonna get us like a Mana Rock.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think those are reasonable. Unless Trophy Mage is the 3 one, it might be the one that gets 3s. Trophy Mage gets 3s. Let me chime in with the one that gets 2s.
Trinket Treasure? Is it Treasure Mage or is that the 6th
I thought
one?
Treasure Mage is the 6th one. 35 cents. It's gotta be the 6th one. Yeah, that's the 6th one. We don't need that one. Do we like the 3 tutor one? What does that get us? That gets us. I think the 3 tutor one's probably solid too, Steve. We got Blasting Station at 3. We've got Phyrexian and Ashnod's Altars. We also have the where's the Basalt Monolith? Basalt Monolith at 3. So the 3 one seems reasonable.
Okay.
And it's creature, it tutors. Anybody got the 2 mana one?
This could be a scheming symmetry deck because you just melt the person. You just put it both on top and you draw yours and mill theirs.
I think I'm cool with that. Let's see. Where's the sorcery?
Oh, do we want more interaction? We didn't finish doing that. Do you want to do an offer we can't refuse?
Do we like that one enough?
Yes.
Right right? That's only gives him treasures.
Yes, 1 mana counter spell is.
It's pretty powerful. Are we going leaning harder into counters?
I mean, is this a frantic search deck? Doesn't count as mill?
It does not. No.
Um,
I don't know if Frantic Search will do it for us. You know, I will tell you though, with this Scion of Halaster, there's a card. It's called Predict. I don't know if you know this card. It's actually hilarious with our list. So I don't know if you think this is strong enough, but pay 2 mana to draw 2. What do you think? Choose a card name. Target player puts top card of their library into the graveyard. If that card has the chosen name, you draw 2. Otherwise, you draw 1. So it has 2 abilities. One, if they top tutor, like a Vamp Tutor, you could name that card, or not Vamp Tutor, like Enlightened Tutor or something. They mill it, and then you draw 2. Or with our Scion of Halaster, we go to draw our first card each turn. We get to put the next card back on. No, we don't. We get to see the card. So before we draw that card, we can cast Predict because it's an instant. Mill that card into the graveyard, and then trigger the thing. Draw 2 for 2 mana.
It's 2 mana. Draw 2, and
if you know what's on top.
That's.
Otherwise,
seems like we got better things to do. It's fine.
No. It's very reasonable. Yeah.
I would consider board it.
It's definitely a very powerful card. They play it in Legacy Miracles. It's a very good card. What's that, Nate?
Memory Erosion, Sphinx's Tutelage.
I can't remember Memory Erosion. I remember Sphinx's Tutelage.
Dying over here.
Memory Erosion. Let's see. It's the enchantment, right?
Yeah.
Whenever an opponent casts a spell, they mill 2. I think I'm cool with that one.
Alright.
I mean, it's 3 mana and it doesn't do anything.
I don't think we're going super ham on drawing cards. I don't know if the tutelage is as good as that one.
Yeah. I think you're right. This is going to be pretty good. I mean, we haven't even figured out a way to abuse this yet, outside of just the common make a dude, sack a dude, activate again. Definitely think our creature count is a bit low though at 18 only.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to fill out all the other things we would want in terms of interaction and tutors, and then that would kind of inform what our creature count left would be and kind of what we have to sacrifice in order to make it higher.
What are our best removal spells in these colors? I mean, Fatal Push is.
We don't have rapid hybridization or qualify in here yet. Always my go-tos.
Yeah, I don't think I want to play the Exile one.
You don't want Reality Shift?
I'm not sure.
You Slaughter Pact. You want to do it for 0?
I like Slaughter Pact. I think it's reasonable. We probably not going to cast it without the right mana. Free kill spells are great. What's the Exile creature one?
Reality Shift?
No, the black free one when you have your commander. Those commander cast spells are really easy with Scion of Halaster because this will probably never leave the battlefield once we cast it.
Why am I blanking? I'm blanking as well. This is pretty funny. We'll pull this card up while I figure Ravenous Trap. It's pretty funny.
Let's take a look at it. I mean, I don't think we need to exile their graveyard. So I would say probably not at all.
It's
but
funny.
It is funny.
I wanted to pull it up because it's entertaining.
But there's another trap. The blue trap is like a
Deadly Rollick. Thank you, Nate.
Deadly Rollick. Thank you.
Or a Snuff Out if you don't care about CNC. Because we're currently not in that.
This gives us quite a bit of interaction now. Do we gonna do like Chain of Vapor stuff like that?
I'm not a big
Vapor fan.
I'm not a huge fan. I don't think it's necessary.
I don't want this to get bounced.
We're not going crazy fast. This is not an Adnaz deck. We're not gonna try and you want the lowest, cheapest thing ever.
You do.
And you're gonna bounce your own rocks.
We are light on the cards. getting cards? Like once we stall out, once we run out of cards.
Well, then I mean,
then
this
like,
is.
are we doing like Knight's Betray or Knight's Whisper and?
Well, no. I mean, throw a Ristic Study and a Mystic.
Oh
War
yeah.
in
I
there.
forgot about all those really fun casual cards people are playing now.
Well,
Unstable Harmonics is
This
cool.
is clearly not a casual deck.
Yeah, enter it. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, guys. I don't like this one.
The Unstable Harmonics. No.
I don't like that they gave it multiple names. It's not easy to use. Let's go with the classic here. There we go. Nothing better than a $45 common. There we are. And we'll do Remora here because that card's just great. Now we got some card draw. A lot of instants is good. A lot of removal, snuff out, slaughter pact. You think we need this many free ones? Deadly Relic, snuff out, slaughter pact.
Do we want
Forces?
Memory Plunder is still hanging out in here? Is that the 4 mana? Play one thing out of.
I don't think it's gonna. Because it's just an instant or sorcery, I don't think that'll be good enough for us.
Yeah.
So why don't we just
considering
maybe,
that.
Yeah, we'll just move this to considering. And, we might find that we really need
Same
it.
thing with the Drown in the Dreams. Is that what's the floor we're kind of thinking on it?
Well, like your bare minimum is you pay 4 for it at instant speed, and you're gonna draw 1 and mill 2.
That seems pretty bad at that rate.
Yeah,
I think
obviously
if you want to go big, right? Like
this is definitely the example of a very low floor, very high ceiling.
if you just have all the mana in the world at the end step to dump into it.
Yeah,
It
like which
can
is
be really
which does
big.
work with our Phyrexian. I mean, Ashnod's Altar and stuff like that, and the fact that Zellix is making a bunch of 1/1s. But I don't think that it works on its face value for us. With
Okay.
The mana cost we're
Yeah.
looking at.
What we're considering.
Definitely a good card though. Definitely worth putting in if we find a way to generate more mana. Like if we were infiniting with Basalt Monolith, putting like what's that?
Rings of Brightheart.
Ring of Brightheart or with
any of the creatures that do it.
although that would kill us too because we have to draw the cards. Both things happen, right? The considering board. Let's see here. You
Target
may
player.
choose both. You may choose. Oh, you can just kill somebody and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can kill 2 people. One stone. I think this Mesmeric Orb is going to be important to get. We need to figure out what that 2 mana mage is that tutors up. That's going to be an important one. Trophy, Trinket. It's in my Yorion deck. It's really good.
I mean, it's a mage, right?
Yeah.
I got you over here.
Do you want to put something like Archmage Emeritus in this so we can draw more cards? Is that too like mid-rangey, not likely to happen? Probably not.
What's the other? There's a guild mage that also works with your mind crank and stuff like that, right? Dusk Mantle Guild Mage.
Is that the activate for 4? Yeah, this guy's expensive.
It does go infinite with the Blood Chief Ascension, right?
I think so. So you pay 3 whenever a card's put in an opponent's graveyard for anywhere this turn, they lose a life.
Or is it with the mind crank? It's one of the two. I can't remember. It was one of the old.
Whenever an opponent
Phoenix.
loses life, they mill that many cards, yeah. I mean, are we going real deep here and putting in the black blue god that says you mill for your butts?
No.
Treasure, trophy, yeah, I got those ones, bud. Oh, Nate's asking if this is a scepter deck. Jam kill spells and milling. That seems like a pretty good idea. We got a lot of artifact mana, right? Trying to pump that mage.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm in the S's.
Search mage. here.
Uh,
That one.
Treasures 6 Tribute.
Tribute mage, that's it. I love these cards. They're so innocuous but also very powerful, and that they give you a lot of versatility. These mages here.
Are we putting a Thought Scour in this deck?
Do you want to put that in this deck? I love the Shrieking Drake. That seems like
I
a
think the
really,
card next to it might be good enough. The sell off.
Yeah, it seems kind of weak unless we're already going off. Like you're already in a winning position. When this
Yeah, I
card's
think
good.
that can get considered over. I mean, you literally could just be like, okay, how many cards do we have left? Like, the problem is we're at 101 right now, right? Like, we got to cut down.
I think it's okay to continue adding though while we figure out what's like, is this really good enough?
No,
So like,
I don't think so.
move to considering.
I think you literally could just petitioners the rest of this list.
Yeah, I think like I definitely think our creature count is low. For what, like if we do any kind of milling of ourselves. So like what other cards could we pull to add more creatures in, I guess would be the way to look at it. These creatures do look pretty good though to me. This Mana Scribe is a sweet card. And I think this card will do a lot of heavy lifting. Because like, okay, if you don't want to mill cards, then you have to empty your hand. What is a 4-mana 2/2? So I don't know. Is there a way to tutor this guy out in these colors? Because outside of the regular sorcery
We're
tutors?
just tutoring him.
What's the blue MDFC mythic do?
You're not playing Vampiric Tutor?
It's an
instant.
It's an
Oh,
instant.
it's instant.
Yeah. It's right,
There it is, right.
Yeah. I like the Windsor Rebuke a lot.
What was your question?
What is the blue Agadeem's? The blue mythic MDFC?
Seagate Restoration.
That one any good for us?
It's just draw cards.
That seems good to me. Draw cards equal number of cards in your hand, +1. You have no maximum hand size the rest of the game. Seems fine.
It's a sorcery. I wish it was an instant.
But I mean,
Yeah, if we don't care about CMC
but
at
we
all.
we have the altars in here, Ashnods and Phyrexian, so
Yeah.
there's definitely a way to get to that pretty easily.
No, we also don't care about our CMC at all.
Which,
so.
with those two MDFCs, is going to drop these down by 1 each. It's like, can I just remove one?
Yeah.
Remove one. And then remove one. Obviously, these are just placeholders until we can put our fetches in the right lands and stuff in there. I think fetches are going to be really important in this list because of the all the crabs and stuff. It's like crabs. I knew you'd get crabs going.
You know me.
Definitely think that this is where we're the weakest right now in our list. Is Snapcaster even good enough now? Like, what are we hitting with it? Any one of these?
It's interaction.
It is interaction. It is a pretty powerful card. But you do it like it doesn't work with Snuff Out because you have to pay the mana cost with Snapcaster. You can't pay alternate costs. So it works like really well with like Slaughter Pact and Deli. It doesn't work with Deli Relic. It doesn't work
We're
with
definitely like still low on. Our interaction is pretty relatively low for playing, you know. If you're trying to dial this thing all the way up.
So like fluster storming and stuff here, or we try to like really it's a little specific here. Why don't we lower the mana cost down to 1 or 2?
What color are the horrors?
They're black.
Okay.
Why you ask?
Because I like a good Abjure and it was just on the screen. Nothing like hitting them with the 1 mana counter spell. We don't have Pact.
Seems like a good one, right?
Yep. I don't know if we're. Because otherwise you're going to go with. Your dispels, your mind break trap. Mind break is totally reasonable.
Another free one that doesn't work with Snapcaster though.
It is. I mean, I'm fine if we just be like, okay, forget about all these creatures and just put in persistent petition.
I think a lot of these creatures are really good.
Oh,
I think
I
this
agree.
one is kind of like it's like the best wishful thinking one.
Sure, but I like a good something random in
Yeah, I
there.
do too. Reality Chip seems like it's kind of a reach too. Just because like we have to pay to put it out and then also pay to equip it and then pay to use the spells. But it does link up with a 1/1 pretty okay. Is there a way to should we go real deep and go conspiracy, and then name advisor, and then put persistent petitioners in here? Turn all of our 1/1s into advisors.
I mean,
Does it work? Does the
I don't think you need to go that far.
artifact one work with tokens?
4 mana artifact.
Yeah, the one I used to play in Dwarves.
Oh, adaptive automaton.
No, the artifact.
Metallic Mimic?
It's not it's not a creature. It's
Oh, Maskwood Nexus.
Maskwood Nexus. Yeah, would that work with the tokens? Make them all into
Advisors.
advisors. Name advisor. Is there a way to just look at it? That'd be better.
Yeah, you can click on it and well, I mean, like you did. You hit
Creatures you
enter.
control are every creature type. Same is true for creature spells you control and creatures you own that aren't on the battlefield.
I feel like if you have to cast that to make your partition positioners good.
Probably not. Well, I mean, just add. Not good. Amazing with all these 1/1s you're going to be getting. Because then if you generate 4 1/1s, then you could go again. It feels like a bit of wishful thinking, though. This is sweet.
I mean, it's 101 cards, but I think right now you're relying a little too much on other people to have the creature count that you want.
So maybe the play here is start going through the sorceries and instance we don't need and just add a bunch of participant petitioners. Put Aether Violin. Make it 2 petitioners a turn if we need to.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I think being able to do it on our own is important. So I think the creature count needs to be much higher. You know, like obviously, I think Peer into the Abyss could easily be cut.
Yeah.
You know, like we can move that one to the board, or considering, and then like realistically speaking, like we need, like is this something we could probably move?
Probably take Snuff out and put it in there.
Move this to considering. You know, like how many removal spells do you need in a game? We have what 1, 2, 3, 4 at instant speed already. That seems like a decent one. 1 out of every 25 cards is a removal spell.
Okay.
Alright.
We also have a bounce.
Oh, we do have the bounce with Winds of Rebuke.
And
And
that's
as
not
far as-
permanent.
Yeah, as far as Andronalock is a removal spell or a counter spell, and we're gonna be milling, so it's probably gonna hit.
Yeah, I think we're.
So I think that maybe we just have a lot of interaction because we're used to playing against those kind of decks, whereas we might not need as much. What do you feel about like maybe boarding this to add more creatures? Because it's kind of like a win more. Like we've kind of already done the thing, and now we're just getting more
I think
things.
the only, I mean that.
Like maybe this is too cute. This scheming symmetry.
All right. I mean, if you want to, yeah. I mean, we got to start being a little more cutthroat if we're going to get ourselves to.
Yeah, if we want to
That
up this
many
if we want to
spaces.
up this creature count, I think that. I mean, this is. Doesn't wait. Why are we playing this? This doesn't do what we want it to do.
It's just
Oh, it's for Intruder Alarm. It works with Intruder Alarm. But outside of that, I don't think the Shrieking Drake does much for us because
It's
it's not
just-
when a creature enters; it's when you mill a card.
it's for the altar of the Brew because it enters
Oh, that's right.
Triggers
Triggers
the
everything.
mill.
Yeah, yes.
and then you put it back in your hand. So you're just doing as many blue mana as you have as many shrieking as many triggers as you want.
I think this is this is fine, but it's probably a little cute, probably easy enough to
All right.
cut.
Yeah. Considering it.
Yeah, quiet little chat now. Everybody's all tired.
Yeah. We got one person left. That's it.
Is it? Who is it? Do we know?
No.
Well, welcome. We don't know yet.
Can't tell who's left.
Are we using Intruder Alarm in this deck? Like really?
I think you are
Good
if you're gonna get rid of stuff like memory erosion and Narfies, get rid of the court.
I think the court is stronger than the Intruder Alarm, personally. Because this is card draw too, because it gives you the Monarch and you can protect it with all these 1/1s.
Right, but I'm saying if you're gonna go to 30 persistent petitioners,
Is that what we're trying to do? Is move up the persistent petitioner specifically? You think?
I don't think we're getting to 30 creatures without playing a bunch of stuff that's not great from where we are right now.
Okay, I can see that.
Unless you just want to put 12 of them in there.
See, that's kind of like what my list did. Is it played a lot of good value creatures, but then played some persistent petitioners. You know, because everyone's because they each mill one.
What do you think is your minimum that you want to play?
I think I want a total of 33 creatures in the actual deck.
All right. Well, put a persistent petitioner in there. Or one. I think they're in the sideboard right now, so you can just move to the main board down below. Up.
Did I miss it?
Yep, right there.
Move to main board.
And then scroll your way up,
It's right there.
and then add more. How do you want?
Let's think about this. So like when you activate your commander and target yourself, you're milling 3. So let's just consider I like playing some numbers here. We have 2 cards that aren't going to be in the command zone, so our deck's at 98 cards, or not going to be in our deck, so we're at 98 cards. Say you keep a hand of 7, you're looking at 91 cards left in your deck, right? So out of 91, you basically want to be able to hit at least 1 card in every 3 creatures. So we're looking at about 30 creatures total. So right now we're at 18 creatures before petitioners. So if we added 12 of them, that'll put us at about 1 of every 3 cards is going to be a creature.
All right, and then for every creature we pull out, we add 1 more.
I mean that's if we keep a hand of all spells, obviously, but like maybe put a 13th one in just so it's kind of like hits the numbers better.
Sure.
And those also work really well with Brewvac when we get him out too, because he's also an advisor. Are any of these other creatures advisors? Just for, Metamorph does some lifting there. See if there's any other advisors, just for the sake of argument here. Juggernaut, Jellyfish, Wizards. So no other advisors, but. Another thing is we're playing with Scion of Halaster here. Is there anything that we can do to use this ability of when we draw our first card each turn, we need to look at the top 2 and put 1 into the graveyard?
Just the Yogswell.
Which I think is totally worth playing here. We
On
want
the
to.
Snapcaster range.
Good point. Yeah, we can mill over interaction if we have Snapcaster in hand. You know that, or if there's nothing in the bin, we can just bin the Snapcaster and then get a trigger. Oh no, this doesn't trigger that. I don't think. So now our creature count looks a lot healthier, and we're up over by 12 cards. So we're at 14 petitioners. Maybe I'll reduce it a little bit because I added 13 by accident. So remove 1.
Okay.
What is that? 31 creatures.
Well, is there any creatures that you look at and you're like, I would just rather have a petitioner?
Reality Chip.
Sure.
Teresian Mindbreaker.
All right, swap them out.
So you think the petitioners are just stronger?
It's definitely not a Tainted Pack deck anymore.
Certainly is not. No. Is Spellseeker really all that good for this deck?
It was when we were trying to find playable creatures.
Yeah, it gets Reshape, gets Demonic, and...
We don't have a Rift in this deck.
Do we want a Rift in this deck?
Yes. Don't leave home without it.
Don't leave home without it. Rift, alright, sweet. Am I just off camera altogether now? Did I lean over too far?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this Spellseeker is good if we're playing a.
Yeah. Considering it out.
Yeah, let's consider it out. I'm thinking if we played a what's the artifact that untaps all your stuff? That seems remarkably good in here. Doing the it's a 2-mana instant, so you put an instant underneath it and you get to untap.
Dramatic Reversal.
Dramatic Reversal.
I mean, if you're doing petitioners.
If you're gonna do petitioners, Dramatic Reversal might be a reasonable.
And the mana.
With the Isochron Scepter, that's it.
Oh, there it is. It was there.
Just thinking.
I thought about it.
And obviously set up our account when we're trying to cut, but you can fabricate Reshape into those very easily. I'm gonna add these sideways. Plus, it's just so good with petitioners because the game
Mystical
just ends.
tutoring now, though.
Alright. Is this too many win conditions? Because, like, we're already looking at Alter the Brood being the win
Yeah, but
condition.
see, the only problem I don't like about an Isochron Scepter deck is if you don't have a payoff for infinite mana in the command zone, it's much harder to do.
But this is a payoff.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, because it untaps it too.
Because it would untap this and
your
at least
rocks.
one rock.
Alright, yeah.
So we'd be able to go infinitely mill a whole table out.
Okay, I'm with it.
Alright, I dig. That seems actually quite good now that I think about it. And it's really
Is
good with the petitioners.
Emery still worth keeping around? Because it can get us back our pieces?
I think Emery is totally worth keeping around. Gillidrake is kind of eh.
Is there a way to win with... Wait a minute. There's a way to
Man's
win.
got an idea. Let's hear it.
Emery, does Emery say non-creature artifact?
No, just artifact.
So with Intruder Alarm and a Phyrexian Metamorph and a sack outlet, couldn't you get there?
You need to be able to make 3 mana off your sack outlet. It's cost
You'd have to
3
discount.
and 2 life. You would die.
You'd have to discount.
Yeah, now we're playing a discount.
Now you have to
too.
discount the artifact enough to do it.
Probably not on
I
that
thought
one.
about it. I was like, wait a minute, because I know you can do weird shit like Emery and like a Lotus Petal and the thing that untaps when you cast an artifact, and then you can pop it, put it back in, untap her. But it doesn't work that way.
That's a long walk. That's a long walk for short trigger water, I think.
No, I was just
But
trying to
I
think if there was
feel where you're
already
coming
pieces we already had in there, right, that
Yeah.
already did it.
With the intruder alarm, that line, intruder alarm is pretty neat. With is intruder alarm just like not good in this list?
No, I mean it's amazing because
Because of petitioners now, yeah. I mean, petitioners with Sir Conrad is probably pretty bananas too.
But petitioners and you gotta pay mana for.
Well, you tap
Oh,
four
no,
untapped
no.
advisors,
Never
yeah.
mind.
But even then, you could pay
I
the
think-
1 mana if you needed to. Especially if you have like Ashnod's Altar out and you make at least 1/1/1, you can activate 2 petitioners again.
I think the Shrieking Drake is less good than another petitioner.
All right, I'm okay with that. We have to consider. I like how we start with all these cool things, and now we're just like, what can we cut out to add more petitioners? But I think it's right though. Like, having lots of these is fine. Do we want a way to get these on the battlefield easier, like an Aether Vial or something like that?
I don't think we're at the Thrumming Stone count.
I don't think we're at the Throwing Stone count, but hear me out with.
I do
the,
love a good vial.
with the intruder
Hey,
alarm.
did you see the pretty new one they made?
Not intruder alarm, sorry, but with the what's the one we just put? Dramatic Reversal Isochron Scepter.
Yeah.
Untaps Aether Vial too. So as you get more of these, you just Aether Vial all in.
All right, vial it up.
That's really
Put a-
reaching.
put a
we're-
vial
I think
in
we're
there.
trying to
Put a
cut though.
Put a vial in there. Yeah, but you know we're tweaking. We're at the end here.
Like
We're
an Aether
getting
Vial,
close.
Aether Vial on 2 helps you really get these through. The question now is like, are these crabs any good anymore? This one seems like the worst.
Yeah, let's just do that because that's going to make our mana base have to be more basics.
I don't think we want it in the considering at this
Okay.
point. Well, you know what? Let's just keep everything in the considering in case we want to make some changes. Like
Right.
this one mills any player for 3.
I think it
And this
also
one
gives
mills your
people.
opponents for 3, but it's any land. Whereas the other one requires it to be a snow permanent.
Yeah, which would like you said, fetches are way better. You can play your prismatic vistas even. You can.
Yeah, I think the land base is going to be a lot of fetches just for those particular things. Also, the more lands we rip out, the higher odds we are of hitting creatures too, which is not nothing. So let's go ahead and we pulled that. We'll add another petitioner in here. We're moving up on the petitioner side. I really still feel like all these mages are really important. I think Sir Conrad's really good. Snapcaster's pretty solid. The 2 crabs are good. This might not be very good anymore.
Okay.
Just because like it requires us to untap, like each player to untap. Like it's so easy to kill, and it's 4 mana. I'm okay moving this away. I think and
Okay.
adding more petitioners in. Do you want a spark double or something like that? Just have 2 Zellixes out there. You think that's reasonable?
Spark is at 5.
4. and it comes with a counter, so it'd be a 3/4.
Is Sakashima just better or no?
They're both basically this. I mean, Sakashima just makes a copy of this, right? Spark Double is technically better because it makes a copy of this and it puts a 1/1 counter on it. Right? What does Sakashima do outside of that? Sakashima.
There's two of them, obviously.
Yeah, the this is the new one, right?
Yeah.
So this is Legend rule doesn't apply. Yeah, so it just makes a copy of it, but it can copy anything.
Can make us allow to do more. Two Brewbacks isn't too bad either.
Spark Double does the same thing, but I think it actually puts. I don't know why. Oh, because it's consistent command zone. That's why this is more powerful. But we're not putting it in command zone. But if you look at what Spark Double does the same thing. Copy of a creature or planeswalker you control. So it can't just say anything. Another creature you control. So it's the same on that. This can copy a planeswalker, and then if it enters with an extra 1/1 counter, or if it's a creature.
Dump Sakashima.
Yeah, let's dump Sakashima here. So I really like having at least one copy here. Like you can get 2 Emerys with Intruder Alarm. That might be something that happens there. 2 Sarkonrads. 2 Brewvacs. Yeah, those seem real good. And at this worst for this, I mean, you can just copy another Persisters to get your 4th Petitioner, so you can mill for 13. Persistent Petitioners is a pretty, once you get it moving, it's a pretty strong card. I'd be happy getting a 20th one in here, I think. 1 to every 5 would be nice. I think we'll up it and we can try to make some cuts maybe. I mean, we're at 117, but I think that's okay. Maybe this isn't very good anymore. Oh, it's kind of a hate piece, kind of like an interaction without interacting, but it only mills 1 person for 4 cards for 3 mana the first time it comes down. Is the static ability worth it, you think? And it's not a creature when you mill it. So maybe not.
Yeah, if we're really, I mean,
Like if we're leaning,
we need 17 cuts. Like
Yeah,
we
so-
gotta get started and get a little more cut
let's
through.
get a little more cutting. I think these creatures are. I think this is a nice creature package. I could see cutting Gilded Drake just because we have a lot of removal spells.
Sure.
But Gilded Drake is at least a creature. Yeah, I want to consider it. We need to make cuts, right? But I want to keep this creature held high, so let's go on. Yeah, 32 is still a lot, I think. So, in these instances, like, pretty much anything that costs multiple mana, like, this is part of a new package. Free, 2 to 7, 1, 2, free.
Is
Mana drain seems kind of like what are we using the mana on? I mean, we have a bunch of artifacts and stuff, but Mindbreak Trap seems kind of like we have to jump through hoops for it.
Yeah, it's just if you're playing against, I mean, it's the Storm Killer. I mean, that's what it is. It's hard to leave home without in the competitive world these days.
All right, let's leave it for now. How about Mana Drain? This one seems like the weakest. You need double blue for it, and what we're getting
Sure.
off of it like doesn't really supply our creature base much.
Sure.
And it seems like an easy cut. It's not free; it costs the most.
Anything rock-wise we want to go down on? Do we want to get rid of?
I don't know if we need the Dimir, Signet anymore, and the one that hurts us. Do we need this Blasting Station anymore?
It's good for creature removal,
Yeah.
for
yeah.
control,
It
because
might
it's
be
going to
useful.
do that with all the triggers on the stack for our horrors entering. We can pretty much take anything out. I
That's
think
a
we
good
can
point.
cut this King Narfi's betrayal.
Yeah, I mean it does mill.
Remember-
It does mill 12 cards when it hits, but it's probably too. It's too
Here, you take the driver's seat for a second. Be right back.
too silly. I'll probably take Memory Erosion out because your
Sure.
opponents can choose to cast spells or not. It's just me here now, folks. For a few minutes here. I guess we're pulling Quarter Cunning. Yeah, just cards that require our opponent, like we need to untap with them or have them do stuff. This only triggers on our upkeep. Yeah, I think it's probably not worth it. So we're down to 111. Got to cut 11 more. Do we want to cut like Talisman of Dominance and Dimir Signet? Yeah, but I mean, what are we looking at here? We're looking at Arcane Signet, Basalt Monolith. Is the Basalt Monolith kind of too cute. Because you have to have both of them. Otherwise, Basalt Monolith is basically like a dead card, right? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that because you only have one like tutor a 3-up outside of like the big heavy tutors that we have. Is this? Let's see, because we're gonna mill our entire library, but that might not be enough to kill everybody.
Are we taking out the Mind Crank and the Blood Chief?
Probably if we're gonna lean into creatures. Like this is only dealing damage, and I think Sir Conrad handles this role just fine.
Yeah, this is 1 mana.
Yeah, I know, but it's also not a creature.
You get it
so
off. No, you can't. Never mind.
Each end step, if an opponent lost 2 more life this turn, you can quest counter on it. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it deals it 2. They have it. That's pretty powerful. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't know.
I mean, Mind Crank and Blood Chief Ascension.
Yeah,
are
that's kinda
3
like-
mana, and
that's
they
kinda
kill
like-
the whole table.
It's kind of like a thing, yeah. Maybe not. Maybe don't cut those. Let's see here. I think the artifacts are kind of.
I'm fine with the blasting station going. We need to start getting a little more cutthroat.
Yeah.
It doesn't like. It's kind of win more.
Yeah. I think the mesmeric orb is really good though.
Sure.
Mind Crank, when an opponent loses life, they mill that many. That seems really powerful. Regardless, even fetch lands cost them a mill.
Yep.
And, that's reasonable. Let's see here. We want the fast mana. Is Ashnod's Altar? Yeah, it's too good not to play, I think.
Only because of the intruder alarm, and that pays for everything, right? Make a horror, sack it to Ashnod's Altar, pays for your Zellix, or pays for petitioners if you don't have enough of them.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if intruder alarm is all that good anymore. We call petitioners in. It seems like it'd be that good, right? Whenever a creature enters. Yeah, it's too good not to play.
Because we mill the token. It's not non-token creature. It's creature.
Yeah.
So you mill
Make a token.
With the trigger on the stack for each
You can make a lot of them.
each horror entering, you respond by petitioning again.
Yeah, and then
And that's the whole. I mean, that's the whole. You kill everyone.
Yeah, it seems pretty hilarious.
10 cuts is not bad.
Where are we at on lands? We're at 30, 28, 30.
30
That's
with
fine.
NFCs. What's our card look like currently? Just to see where maybe there's some spots like 2 is really heavy.
Well, obviously,
It's
with
11
petitioners.
with 3, 2 with 4, 1 with 5, 2 with 4. What's the second one with 4? What do we have? Oh, this is the consider.
That's considered.
Yeah. So what do we have with 4?
Mind break, which you're not
Oh,
paying
Mind Break.
for.
Yeah, you're not paying for that. You're not paying for Death and Rollick either.
Yep.
So those are freebies. What's our blue count look like? Oh, we have a ton of petitioners. Blue count's great for these forces. Oh, petitioners makes the forces stronger too. Often have blue cards for those. We're not digging very quickly. This is going to be a important part of making sure we draw the right cards every turn. Emery might not be good enough, even though it's good.
Yeah,
it's really
I think,
good.
I think it was.
Oh, you know what? You know what?
It
This,
was answering your question of.
this Manic Scribe would be easy to cut, I think,
Okay.
because you have to have Delirium for it to work, which we'll likely have. But we have all of these petitioners doing the same thing at the 2 mana spot.
Sure.
So I could see cutting although that just adds, well, it's a hard one because it does mill everybody for 3. I think it's fine to move it. If considering down to 31 creatures. 31 seems okay. So now we need to cut 9 more. Alright, I have to start digging here. Spark double necessary. Phyrexian Metamorph necessary. It's too good not to play, right? Like, it's hard. Maybe we just delete the Tribute and Trophy Mage here, or one of these mages. Although that would just add a petitioner, probably, because we want to keep our creature count high. I'm thinking Mnemonic Betrayal is probably not worth it.
You have not won a game with Mnemonic Betrayal.
I know it's a good card. I'm not arguing it's a good card.
The problem is we're not shutting off other people's graveyards. We're going to feed their graveyard strategies pretty hard, and we don't have a payoff for it. You know, that's my only concern.
This is the closest that we have, I think.
Right. So But I understand. We have a game plan. We can stick to it. I'm fine with it going away.
Like, I like it too. It is a very good Magic card. I'm not going to argue that. It's absolutely amazing. This might be worth going to, because we have to sack something to get something.
I think because we put all the mages in, sure.
We probably don't need it, because we want creature tutors over spell tutors, if we can. Obviously, these black ones are just bonkers. And Dialed Up Intent is really good when you have all these 1/1s you're making.
Sure. Fodder is good.
So I think that like these black spells are good. The Fabricate being kind of 3 mana, but not a creature, might like it's the same thing that one of these 3 is going to do.
Right, but the problem is if we want Altar of the Brood for this whole thing to go off, only one of our mages gets Altar of the Brood.
True.
Right. So now you're like, okay, how many cards am I getting Altar of the Brood with? Don't forget Phyrexian Metamorph can become an Altar of the Brood, can it not?
It can once it's already out there.
Right. But I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is
You have double
double
altars, yeah.
Altar of the Brood.
Double altar is pretty sweet. Yeah.
I like the flexibility of it in there. Right, because we're not playing the Wish Claw.
This is going to be what? This is going to be pay 3, sacrifice a 1-drop, just to go get a 1-drop. This seems remarkably cuttable to me.
All right, considering it out.
Yeah.
All right, 8 more to go. We're getting there. 7 more to go.
It's pretty interesting. We're probably going to want Yaguro for sure, though. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably want that. This seems like the right number of these things. This is just a land. So.
Yeah.
You go down on a land, down to 29? Probably not.
We're at 30.
There are only 2 colors here, and the color all we need really is a lot of blue. Double black we don't need until late, you know? It's mostly blue deck, though. Like, if we're looking at the color, can we have a color?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 61-14. It's a mostly blue deck with all those petitioners, so maybe it's worth cutting down a land, down to 29, because we're predominantly blue anyway, and we have Aether Vial as ramp, and all these ramp cards. And then this makes colored mana when we need it. This makes colored mana.
Sure.
So we kind of treat like Mox Diamond as a land, and treat Chrome Mox as a land.
Yeah, 27 to 30 on the competitive end is for sure fine. We're not trying to play a commander that we're going to recast a bunch.
So we got 6 more cuts to make if we're leaving 29 lands with those MDFCs. So what do we got in the artifact department here that seems like it's the chunkiest area that we haven't really gone through yet? I think Alternate Dimension is just too damn good. Aether Vial might be... It's pretty awesome though, right? This has really diminishing returns though. Like, the later you draw it, the worse it gets.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are we playing Academy Ruins
you know
in
what?
a land slot?
I'm going to say Aether Vial probably needs to come out of here because not only do you have to play this, we have to wait 2 whole turn cycles just to make it where we're going to be good with it.
It's fun if you're putting a creature in that wins you the game, but
we're not.
The only thing it's nice for is, hey, I got a petitioner in my hand. Rather than play it, I'd rather hold up my interaction to get back to my turn, vial it in on the end step.
Yeah. So I think it's...
How much is the Basalt Monolith? Do we care that much about it?
I don't think it does enough on its own. Like, it requires specifically having, what is it? Mesmeric Orb to be good, right? Because otherwise it's just mana even.
We are playing a bunch of things that go get all of those pieces.
Yes.
You know, you got the mages, you got all your tutors.
Question is
it good enough?
I don't think it's guaranteed if you have these 2 cards together. You can mill your whole deck, sure. But is that enough to actually kill everybody? Because we only have, 31 creatures? So I think that even though we could technically mill ourselves completely, it doesn't actually win us the game. It could. I'm not saying it wouldn't.
Just saying when you Snapcaster back Yawgmoth's will, and then you get out of any piece you're missing.
This seems like a really easy way to lose the game when somebody interacts with us.
Okay.
So I'm okay moving this.
All right.
Move it.
There's plenty of 3-drops to go get too. Especially because we put the Isochron Scepter in here now.
Is the Phyrexian altar specifically doing anything for us over the Ashnod's altar? Because all of our activations are colorless. Is it just
It allows us to hold up these 1/1s as interaction.
mana? That's pretty
So
strong.
that's pretty strong. Also, it's a good tutor target, and it still does the same thing that Ashnod's Altar does with our commander and this
Intruder
Intruder
Alarm.
Alarm.
Okay.
So I think it's definitely keepable.
Ooh, tough 5 cuts.
Yeah, it's good. This is the
We're in the
best part.
nitty gritty of it.
I think this has to go. I think
Okay.
we have to jump too many hoops to get it. Although we could get it off. No, I honestly think this is probably too hard to work with in this deck.
Okay.
We're really slim right now, and are we missing any key rocks?
Didn't seem like it.
Like, does this deck want like Springleaf Drum? Because we make so many 1/1s. I'm good at putting cards in.
I understand. I do.
Is the Mindcrank line just too many cards? Like Mindcrank Bloodchief Ascension? Because this one's just a killing card, right? Bloodchief? Just a card for killing. And this card is a
It's incidental mill.
incidental mill
It's just that together they kill everybody.
if somebody takes damage. Because they have to take damage.
You have 33 creatures. You think we can get an attack in?
I think we could.
Just 1 point of damage to somebody?
It's potential. It's really good.
It takes longer to get online. It does, because you have to get the counters on it for it to start. Right?
That's true, yeah. This one needs to have counters put on it.
2 or more life this turn, which is way better in casual.
Yeah.
2 or life though is a mana crypt trigger. It's a fetch and a shock.
Sure. Well, this needs to have 3 or more counters on it, so they have to have 3 different life losses.
Replay, you know.
Yeah,
By the
yeah,
time it
no,
gets back
I
to
understand. I
online.
just don't. I don't think that like you play this and then when you're back to you, it's online already. I think you may have to do multiple turn cycles to get it back online.
Yeah. So
Also, if I saw it on the table as a player, I'll play around it as best I
alright, you
could.
want to board it out, but do you want to leave the mind crank?
Mindcrank's pretty good, I think, regardless, right? When an opponent loses life, they put that many cards. They mill that many cards.
Or do you just cut them both and there's 2 cards out of your list?
I think that might be the easiest way.
Alright.
You know, if we're gonna lean into petitioners. And hey, if the petitioners feels weak, maybe we chop down on petitioners, and add the Bloodchief line back in. So now we're down to 2, and that's a real easy number to work with, right? Comparatively. Of course, what 2? We made arguments for all the cards. All right. We'd probably go down to 30 creatures at a bare minimum. Chop 1. I think all of these creatures are really good. So it would probably just be 1 petitioner if we did go down.
Is it the Windsor Rebuke?
I mean, that's the least effective card we have, right? It does play into our strategy, though, and it does answer any non-land permanent.
Yeah, it's each. I forgot it was each.
So it's still mills 6, yeah.
That's
Or no, mills
pretty
8.
good.
Mills 8, right? Against a full board of players? 'Cause each player mills 2?
Yep.
Yeah. So that I think is too good. Maybe, I don't know, offer's pretty good. But we do have all these forces and stuff.
I would hate to cut.
Although we just put Dramatic Reversal in with Isochron Scepter, which is it's a harder to get together, especially because we cut Spellseeker.
And we don't have Mystical Tutor in there.
Yeah, so maybe just cut that line of Isochron Dramatic Reversal. It's fun, it's great, it's powerful, but we're also not putting anything on it. We're going to be putting a Cyclonic Rift on it, Winds of Rebuke, which is actually pretty good to put on it.
We've obviously ignored.
Or Drown in the Lot, actually.
We've ignored the whole, I love that we're building a competitive black and blue deck without Thassa's Oracle.
I mean, Yeah.
That we're literally not playing.
This is probably more casual competitive than actual CDH at this point.
Yeah, but it. I don't know, man. It's pretty dialed up.
It's like a 9.85.
It's
right now.
it's in the fringy.
It's in the fringes because of these.
It's a
right?
fringy.
These are what's killing it, I think,
Yeah.
because we want to be able to self mill.
I mean, you're still gonna wreck people.
I think so. I think mill really gets.
I just don't think you're just gonna be like. You're just not gonna get the oops I won factor that you would get, right? Because it would be, you can't play Tainted Pact. It's just
No,
Demonic
no.
Consultation and Thassa's Oracle.
And we're not tutoring for either of those pieces. I mean, we could do it with our black tutors, which tutor for anything, obviously. But like, of our limited tutors, like these three here, like we're not getting pieces of that. At least these get like Isochron Scepter and like our Alter the Brood and.
Yeah, but is it just worth 2 cuts?
Well, then we have to cut 2 more because we're at 102.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's pretty.
Like I think Isochron Scepter with Drown Lock seems really good in this deck. Seems like if you don't get this, you could get that, and then you can Rinse and Rebuke it back, and then put Dramatic Reversal on it if you need to.
Windsor Rebuke under the Ace concept.
It
is
seems
pretty
pretty
hot
good too. Yeah, like as far
Cool.
as
You tried to advance your board state, bounce that, mill 8.
like are these good enough? I mean, they're good, but like we have
Yes.
free removal,
I'm keeping those.
All right.
I
Does this
cannot.
enough things? Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's just
stupid.
not enough. Oh, the tough cuts.
If we mill our Altar of the Brood, that's gonna suck. It's
Dogs
just-
will it back.
I mean, that's literally our only thing to get it with. I don't think we can start milling until we have Altar of the Brood in our hand.
Are we putting? Let's put a Time Twister in here.
Yes. I don't care. We'll find the space for it. That will allow us to put less creatures in. $13,000. Let's do it.
That's it. That's all.
It's deck just went to $16,000. All right. Whatever. If we're building it out, like this to me, with Yogwill gives us a lot of protection. And then now, because we have the Time Twister, we probably don't need as many. And the Time Twister with Snapcaster actually works. So we keep Snapcaster, but we probably don't need this many petitioners now.
Okay.
So we
You
could
wanna
probably
cut 3 of them?
We could probably cut 3 or 4.
And just be done.
If
And then
if
do
you
our
wanna
land
just-
base for a few minutes.
If you want to
and
just
then
be
call
done,
it?
yeah, we'll do that. All right. Remove more. Where's remove more? There isn't. Okay. Remove 1.
But I think you can just do alt 2, and it just does the.
Yeah, I just don't want to. Oh, you're saying on here, just hit Alt 2 as long as it's
Yeah.
selected?
I don't know how that works.
Alt 2.
Nope.
Computer's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm just going to do it.
It's just on the screen, but you can't do that.
Remove 1.
We're still learning our Moxfield shenanigans.
Yeah.
There's 100
Alright, so we're
cards.
slightly below 16,000. Oh, we haven't put lands in yet.
Oh no, it's gonna go way up.
Alright. So right now we have. Let's see.
Do you want me to
two
just
are different.
go fast?
Yeah, yeah. Here you go. Go on, just tell me what they are and you'll click. I'll type them in.
Watery Grave. Drowned Catacombs.
Alright, what are we doing
Is
on
that
the Red River?
Is that the?
That's the Buddy Land one.
You already have an underground sea.
No, River.
That's
the
the Pain Land.
Yep. We want lots of fetches. So we want
Polluted Delta.
Polluted Delta for sure.
Verdant Catacombs.
Do we want to do?
You want Amorphous Pool?
Prismatic this time here.
Yep. Beefing at the S and Prismatic.
Bring it up. We know lots. How about Urborg? Do you think we want to give swamps to everybody?
It's totally fine.
Totally fine. Makes our islands good. We're going more fetches. So blue fetches. We need Scalding Tarn. Nobody tell Steve. I did it again. Misty. Yoo-hoo. Thank you. What else we got? We got a Fun Strand. So Fun Strand, polluted Delta. That's all for blue ones, black ones. We need
Command tower.
Marsh Flats. Oh yeah, Command Tower.
We tainted island. We tainted lands.
Oh, why
Are we not signet lands?
not? Nope.
We want Clearwater Pathway.
Tainted Isle, go in.
Yes.
Yep.
You want Clearwater Pathway?
Oh yes, that's true. You do want the pathway.
Do you want an exotic orchard?
Sure. Might as well put all the potential dual lands in that don't hurt us.
We're playing Sunken Ruins, Filterland.
Yeah, I like that one. Because it taps for one on its own. What are we looking at? Right now we're at 17 non-basics.
We're off the crab plan, off the basic, the snow crab plan, right? Are we playing Mana Confluence?
I don't think we want the ones that hurt us since we're already fetching a bunch. And like those don't add all that much to our deck.
We're not using our life at all.
Yeah, but like
People are gonna think we are.
I don't know. They're fine, I guess, but they don't seem like they're necessary.
Okay.
I want to be able to fetch lands as opposed to like I don't want to ever miss on a fetch. You know what I mean? But we can put City of Brass in here and Mana Confluence. I feel like that might be good.
Did you put Bloodstained Miner in?
I did not. I was trying to think of the rest of the black ones. What do we got for black fetches here?
You did Viridian to Juju Marsh Flats.
I did Verdant Marsh Flats, Polluted Delta, and plus all the black ones are in here. All the blue ones are in here. Prismatic Vistas in here. Definitely not playing
Doing
black ones.
fast lands? Did you Dark Silk Shores? Do you care about fast
I don't
lands?
like fast lands.
Alright, Flooded Strand.
Yeah, I got all the blue and black fetches in here.
You got them all?
Cause I know. I put them on.
Scalding.
Yeah. 4 blue ones, 4 black ones.
You want a Shizo? You probably don't care about
No, I don't
Shizo.
care about Shizo. What's the blue one? It's Manamo with the untaps.
Phenomena.
Oh, what about the new ones? The black and the black and
Takanuma, you don't really care about that. You want Otawara though.
Aurora for sure. Yeah, that's OTT.
Yeah.
Auto.
Nope.
Auto, which is Scottish.
I think it's OTA then. W. Swearing City.
Yeah, that's too good not to play. And Takanuma, that's that self mills, right?
It's a graveyard recursion one. It's a creature back from the graveyard, I believe.
I think it does. Yeah, let's just double check because it might be really important. Discard it. Mill 3. Return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. I think that has some opportunity. I mean, it's a free black source, right?
Probably not a Gemstone Caverns kind of deck.
We're running out of spots for basics here because we only have 3 spots left in the deck, and we need to be able to fetch basics.
Well, then dump them in a Confluence.
Yeah, let's dump Confluence and City of Brass.
Dump the exotic
maybe
orchard.
Urborg. Well, Urborg's good with the fetches because we don't have to burn them right away. Move to consider. So that leaves us with we get 8 basics, 6 basics right now. Is 6 enough? You think?
What's the other blue legendary land that untaps
Minamo.
legendary
Attacks a
creatures?
legendary creature. Yeah. Do you think it's worth it?
Yes.
I mean, we're gonna have to start chopping these if we want these fetches to actually hit stuff. We're only hitting Underground Sea.
We'll get rid of the Tainted Isle.
Okay, yeah, I can see getting rid of that. Sure, move it. Doesn't seem good enough for this deck.
Go get put in Manamo. Because that just untaps our commander, which lets us go again.
Yeah. It also untaps just for little extra synergies, but it untaps Emery as well. Untaps Bruvac, so you can get more advisors. Like, so you have an odd number, you can get more back. That's good.
And then I would just do basics the rest of the way.
So
Six
basic.
cards.
So 4-2 probably.
Sounds good. Now, very important.
Which basics?
Bleach basic.
What's the scummiest looking Millie one? Do we even need 4 swamps? Is just 1 swamp probably what we want? Oh, we need to be able to fetch them though. Yeah, a lot of fetches. So our black fetches are going to want to primary get the dual lands, and our blue fetches can get basics. Maybe Takanuma isn't worth putting in here.
I don't think it is.
Just returning a creature or planeswalker is probably not enough for the 3 mana, so
We can.
let's go ahead and pull it. And I'll add another swamp here. So add more. I'm gonna go up to 3, so I'll add 2. And then islands, I'm gonna add 3 up to 4. And that would be 100 cards.
Now, the only thing we considered is, are you putting it? If you're playing at this level, if you're playing all this stuff, and you don't have a demonic consultation and an oracle in there, just for giggles, just for oops I win.
Gotta cut 2 cards for it. We're having a hard time getting down here.
But we did it.
We did do it, yeah. These are probably too important not to touch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't touch those.
I could see cutting like one of these mana rocks maybe.
Down to 16. Isocron
Well, I
Scepter
meant
plan.
like Talisman or Demir Signet because they're just kind of weaker.
Yeah, but you don't forget your Petal and your Jewel Lotus don't help your Scepter, and
That's
neither
true.
does your Altar of Dementia, your Altar of the Brood. So you really only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rocks that go positive. 8 rocks that can do Isocron Scepter. That's low.
Well, you get to count. You can count Lotus Petal with Emery on that. I know it's a weird line, but you could technically count it,
Yeah.
even though it's not very good.
I think we took Basalt Monolith out. You can get rid of the 3 mana Mage for it.
So we don't need to tutor up the altar of or Phyrexian altar or Ashnod's altar probably.
Those are at 3.
Yeah, so
Or
I'm saying
2.
like those are at 3. Ashnod's altar's 3 mana.
Oh.
And Phyrexian altar's at 3 mana, but we probably don't need the 2 duels. We can just draw into them.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna worry
Okay,
about that.
yeah, especially because we don't need the.
So if you want to put a Thassa's Oracle in that spot, that's fine by me.
Let's move to considering, and then Thassa's Oracle. So we just gotta find one more. I hope we get this on this pencil. Let's see here. Anything that's like superfluous or not very good. We can probably get this one. Alrighty. Anybody still with us? Are we out?
It says 1, but I don't remember if I'm logged in on this. Watching myself.
I might be.
I don't know. Wiki was here not that long ago.
Oh, he was? I didn't see him.
He didn't say anything, but
He just popped in.
he
Say-
popped in around 10 o'clock.
see us
About an
talking.
hour ago.
Biggity bag.
Yeah?
I mean, if we're gonna put this cheat line in, right? You know, the nice thing, you get demonic consultation for persistent petitioners and not lose. All right, so we have Thassa's Oracle has been added, and we've added demonic consultation. This unique looking art. I think I'm gonna change that. I like the usage. Alrighty, so we have built our very first Altar of the Brood deck.
Nice. Do you want to call it here? Do you want to look at a hand? Are you probably good with it?
I think the build was a good first go here.
All right.
I can't imagine this deck is the best. It might be okay.
I think it'll be fine.
I think it would be fine too. I think once you get one of these powerhouse cards out here like Bruvac, or even just like Moon Crab.
All right. I'm gonna revisit one thing based on our build we have right now.
Yep.
Are you still convinced that Scion of Halaster is better than the one that allows us to deal damage? Agent of the Iron Throne.
I'm kind of torn because it costs 2 mana, which is way less than 3 mana. Since the commander already costs 3, this one only costs 2, so you can cast this on 2, then cast that on 3 when you line up your next draw too.
Okay.
But also are we producing enough creatures? And we'll probably produce enough creatures to make it worthwhile to play the other one. We don't have as much card draw, so this helps us filter, which is, in my opinion, stronger than the
All right.
other one.
Let's leave it the way it is then.
But I do.
It does turn on your Commander Matters cards faster.
It does, and it sticks out there because no one's gonna ever bother this. Nobody cares about this card.
No.
The one that's killing people, they might actually care about though. So I think that this keeps Fierce Guardianship strong, and this keeps the black one,
Deadly Relic
strong.
All right.
So
Success.
I think this card makes it really good. I think I'm gonna sleeve this bad boy up later,
All right.
and I think we should test it out on stream. What do you think? Or not stream on a game. Go to online games, try it out, see what you think.
Yeah, I'm down with
You
it.
want to try put this together with me, or we'll do it together?
Let's do it. Sounds like fun.
This is a janky fun deck.
This is good. This is gonna be good stuff.
A lot of considerings.
Hey, you know what? I like that because you know what? When it comes, I like that about going forward with the channel, doing that because here's what I like. If somebody sees what our thought process was in the considering and wants to take it in a slightly different direction, it gives them lots of ideas. I'm way more about giving lots of people ideas because this isn't a, hey, we did this, take this exact 100 cards. This is about generating ideas and stimulating people's, thought process when it comes to deck building construction. I mean, that's what we're really working on. We want to make sure that we're...
Yeah, and we'll be realistic too. Somebody might really like this design and concept and say, I really want to put it in paper, but I don't have an Imperial Seal or a Time Twister available to me, a Yogg-Will available to me.
Right.
I don't have a Mox Diamond. What are some other options that we have that we can do to power down this deck to make it more for my casual group, And I think that's reasonable. I actually really like the Shrieking Drake a lot with the Altar of the Brood as a value casual play.
Oh, yeah.
Reality Chip is a solid card. I think a lot of these cards do play well in this deck. I think any of these things would be fine options. Just Traumatized. Somebody might really love this card and be like, I'm putting that in. I want that card.
I gotta go for it.
And that seems great. Oh, I just cracked open a mana drain and I really want to put it in this deck.
So, I mean, it's Bruvac. Bruvac's in the deck.
He's in the deck.
Traumatized just kills someone.
It literally just kills somebody with Bruvac caveat.
Right? And in the meantime, oh, by the way, I also happen to put 30 horrors in play.
Yeah. And word of the wise, if anybody ever watches this, mill is a strategy that people hate to lose to.
Right, but you're
absolutely hate to lose.
You're not going to pull this deck out casually. Nobody's.
Like I said, if you choose to power it down, I have a bunch of persistent petitioners. I want to build a casual deck.
Sure.
I like mill. Oh, here's a neat little mill shell. Oh, cool! I can generate these free 1/1s and stuff. Yeah.
Free 1/1s that I mean.
Let's not overlook how good these 1/1s are going to be when we start milling.
Right,
people,
when you just have 10, 12, 15 of them just accumulating, and you're just like, yeah, well,
you're going to lay the hurt down.
I'm going to pressure your life total a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, the 1/1s that the Zellix is going to generate, that's the main reason I would want to do the other one.
Right.
I think I want to put it in the considering board, if it's not already in there.
No, it's not, because we pulled it.
Okay, what was that one called?
Yeah, Altar of the Iron Throne or something like that. Right? Iron Throne? No, something Iron Throne. Agent of the Iron Throne. There you go.
Yeah, I definitely think this card is worth at least considering if anybody were to take a look, because Like this card with like one of the sack outlets, like this Alter Dementia and Aging Iron Throne.
Oh,
You just like sack that, you take one, everybody mill, make another creature sack that. You like it's just a nice chain.
yeah.
We might even decide that this is a better card for this deck.
I would put
than
I would 1,000% put the Mind Crank back in if that was the command zone, because then the Mind Crank
Yes, the Mind Crank gets a lot stronger with
is
Aging the
way
Iron Throne.
stronger.
Yes. Yeah, and and maybe some people don't want to play Intruder Alarm because they got a lot of mana dorks in their meta and stuff like that. And
Right.
There's a few cards in here that are easy to pull out for that. Like I think the Emery gets much worse without the Intruder Alarm. I was saying Intruder Alarm. Let's see, this is gonna be really fun with Zellix. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped to do this.
This sounds awesome.
Like you get Intruder Alarm, Zellix, and Ashnod's Altar on the field, or Phyrexian Altar. Like you're probably gonna be going ham. You're probably gonna be going ham. I'm just saying it's gonna be sweet.
Because you can, you
I'm excited to play
remember to
this.
stack your triggers.
Yeah, stack your triggers properly. I'm really excited to see Brewvac get copied by by Spark Double, and then Spark Double get copied by Phyrexian Wolf, or like just 3 Zellixes on the field. Seems really good to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
It's pretty solid.
The potential is very high on those.
I'm very sad that we're playing Sir Conrad and not Living Death.
Yeah,
Just
but we
because of this many persistent petitioners.
Right, but we're not milling ourselves.
No, not really. We're going to try to mill them more than anything.
Right.
Target player mills 3. So you find the green player and you mill them first. They likely have all the green creatures.
Yes. Yes. Identify target Winota player.
Yeah.
Mill them till there's nothing left.
This deck doesn't seem soft to Blood Moon either with all these basics in it, which is nice. Or
Target
Magus.
Storm player, do not target.
I think Urza's Saga is going to be a nice hit when you get it too.
Don't hit the Roger Silas deck with the mill.
Yeah.
Don't go for the insert Grixis shell here. Stay away from the Grixis shells.
I think I have all these at home. Nearly all these cards. We could probably put this together this week and try it out on some games and see how we like it. Might need your help with like my break trap and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
pretty sure I have near all these in proxy, so we can try it out.
Awesome.
This is sweet. Hey,
we did it.
congratulations!
Stream one
Finished
down.
our first deck.
First one.
I also want to point out that it would be cool to annually revisit this list and see if we like it, if this continues along and we enjoy it.
And I promise we will do much better stream-wise next time around. We have been recording this, so we can upload it as well,
Yeah,
which is great.
we'll definitely do that, so we have it as like a reference if you want to like go to any point in it.
Sounds
We'll
great.
be there.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
joining
everybody.
us. Have a good
Appreciate
one.
it. Insert outro music here because the stream doesn't end when we end.
Really?
So it lags and we have to wait.
I'll have some great music coming up for you guys as well. You can check out Meadow Magic for that 23.